Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome. Yeah, I just thought I'd go live, talk about the Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch event, and my time in LA and things like that. So if you guys have any questions, please, fire them off in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer anything that you have, any questions, anything about the event, about our time in LA. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to run you guys through a little recap of what we did. Mainly just because, it's because of you guys. A large part of this is because of you guys who donated to during the fundraiser event. Really helped us out tremendously in making this happen. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to give you guys an update. There's a few things that there's a lot of things that went incredible for us. A lot of things that are just unforgettable moments. There are some things that I was a little frustrated with. Some things that I would have done differently next time. And I hope that there is a next time. I think that was... What's up, Block Sheep? How you doing, Block Sheep? Thanks for being here, man. If you got any questions, let me know. Did I meet up with Phil? You know what, man? They pulled me aside for an interview. Block Sheep. And I gave him my honest opinion. Whoops! You got the wrong guy. No, I mean, like, they didn't get the wrong guy. I wanted to be honest. So somebody was just walking by and said, "Who wants an interview with Xbox?" And nobody raised their hands, man. So I said, I'll do that. I'll take that interview. And you know how I am, man. I like to bring the energy. I like to bring the hype, the excitement. So I'm there. I'm answering these questions with enthusiasm, even though I'll be honest with you, I just, there are so many things that they could have done better. So many things that they could have done better. And this is not ragging on Xbox at all, because I do love Xbox. That's why I was at Xbox Fan Fest. But I just want to see it. I just want to see it be better. Anyways, they asked me a bunch of questions, and I said, and then they got to one question in particular, which was like some softball questions, because it brings excitement. And then they said, if there was one thing that, Xbox could have done better, what would it be? And I said, ooh, asking the real question now, huh? And she said, "Oh yeah, I want to get real with you for a second." And I said, "Okay," uh, but I basically just let them know that I wish I would have seen some gameplay during the presentation. It was, in my opinion, like severely lacking with actual raw gameplay. I just never been a fan of a trailer fest. I've never been a fan of that. I want to see what we saw at Summer Game Fest, where Jeff Keighley had, faces of, Ed Boon, Nick Cage coming out on stage and talking. The lead on Spider-Man 2, like, put the spotlight on them, let them speak. That is something that I personally really love. I know that's probably not a universal thing, but I think they deserve the spotlight. The developers deserve the spotlight. That's why I loved at the Final Fantasy 16 event. They had a nice panel of developers, and they were able to, talk to the fans directly, and that's super important to me. And get hands-on gameplay with the games that you're talking about. Yeah, Xbox had no raw gameplay, in my opinion. I was just, well, not in my opinion, it's just a fact. There was no raw gameplay during the press conference, and I had to let them know. I was like, listen, this is what I'm disappointed in. I'm excited about the surprise reveals. Opening the show with Fable was really awesome, but yeah, they kind of disappointed in some aspects. Things that I wish I would have done. I got caught up in the moment, and I didn't introduce somebody told me I have to start doing this from now on, no matter who's asking. But I didn't introduce myself as Daniel, the Warrior of Hype with Final Fan TV. Gotta put my name out there, I gotta let people know that I'm with Final Fan TV. So, yeah, I just gotta make sure I do that. And I wasn't talking to Phil directly, so I just completely forgot to mention, Xbox needs Final Fantasy. But I did tell them that my favorite video game of all time was Final Fantasy VII, and they kind of looked at me like I think they were hoping for like a Halo or Gears, something like that. And I'm like, nope. I'll be honest with you, Final Fantasy VII is the. Hey, it's on Xbox. You can play it on Xbox now. But anyways, yeah. So I just kind of. I don't know. That was my experience with that. I have a whole lot more when it comes to Xbox Fan Fest. I was going to. I mean, I had promised the Patreon something like whoever's a Patreon to like some behind the scenes stuff. So, but basically overall, the Fan Fest for me was like I went to the 2019 one and it was one of the best experiences of my life. This time around, it was kind of one of the most underwhelming things during the entire trip, and one of those things being, and then I'll save the rest for supporters and stuff. But one of those things being was when Phil, after the show ended, he said, "We're gonna do what gamers do. We're gonna mingle. We're gonna talk. We got a tire changing station." Set up for people who want to do that. We got a claw machine, win cool prize. Video games, Phil. We gamers love to play video games. There was no games to play. You know what I mean? So that was something. Ace McLovin, thank you so much for the follow. And then Ryan Powell Higgins, thank you for following 8 minutes ago. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm just talking about LA, talking about the experience there. That was my Xbox Fan Fest. Like I said, 2019 was one of the best experiences of my life with Xbox Fan Fest. This one, not so much, and that's kind of disappointing. Hopefully they can fix that, and because it's still really awesome that Xbox is kind of the only company doing that now, bringing the fans together and experiencing showcases together. Although it really needs to go back on a stage. Did not like the theater experience there. Anyways, that's pretty much everything about Xbox I want to talk about. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch event, let me know. I did also go to the Summer Game Fest Play Days event, which was extremely awesome. Skytron, what's good, you beautiful people? Hope you're doing well. Uh-oh, what was this? Something got bleeped out there. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know. But it's great to see you, Skytron. Great to see you, man. Yeah. So the Playdays thing was really cool, but first I just kind of want to start it all off with just thanking Jay, who's with Square-Enix. Jay, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be watching this, but speaking directly to Jay, man, thank you so much for believing in Final Fan TV, believing in our passion for the series, and, making all this possible, really. Without Jay, none of it would have been possible. We were able to go to the Summer Game Fest Play Days. We were able to play Final Fantasy 16 behind closed doors before the 16 pre-launch event the following day. We were able to get our hands on Ever Crisis, so if you have any questions about Ever Crisis, I can answer those as well. We were able to go to that 16 pre-launch event and meet amazing people, and I want to kind of talk about that too in a minute. But what an incredible just incredible experience, really, really cool. So yeah, big thank you to Jay with Square-Enix and everybody who works at Square-Enix. All the staff that was there was super friendly, super nice, and supportive. We're a small time as of right now. Hopefully next time we won't be so small time, but I mean, we keep growing and growing. But they treated us just as if we were big time. They treated us with respect, a lot of encouragement, and yeah, it was you, man. Block Sheep. Block Sheep says, yeah, I meant Phil Hartshorn. not Phil Spencer, dude. my like 20-minute rants about that, 15-minute rant about Xbox. Yeah, Phil. I meant Phil Hartsword as well. I mean, when you say Phil, I think of Phil. I think of Philly Spence. That's who I think of. I'm sorry. Uh, I guess it's been on my mind. I needed to let that out. Uh, anyways, what's up, Ryan Powell Higgins? Well done on the content in the recent months. First time I've caught you live on Twitch. I watch a lot of your content on YouTube. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, usually I just go live on Twitch when I just want to speak to you guys directly. And then, or if I'm doing a podcast, and then I'll take that and export it right on over to YouTube. I try to keep YouTube as kind of like, this is going to sound silly, but the premier place for Final Fan TV content, right? Like, I want it to be kind of like, you go to YouTube Final Fan TV, and you're going to get like what I consider my best work. Whereas on Twitch, I'm just hanging out. I don't know. Maybe people want to see this too. Like you guys in chat, thank you so much. But yeah, thank you so much for being a supporter, man. Thank you so much for tuning in and commenting that. It's just really awesome to see. I've been getting some really, really nice comments lately on YouTube, and it's just kind of, I don't know, man. It just blows my mind sometimes. I know it's not true, technically, but it is true to these people. But when they say, like, I've had a couple people just recently say, best content on YouTube. Best Final Fantasy content on YouTube. I mean, that, like, I open up my phone, I get the YouTube Studios notification, and I go, all right, let's see what we got today. And then I click into it, and I'm like, I just stare at it like, wow. I don't even know how to respond to that. Because personally, I'm just like, there's no way that you consider me the best content on YouTube. But, they felt the need to comment that, and it means a lot. It really means a lot. Yeah, so, what's up, Professor Noctis? Yes! Let me tell you, Professor Noctis was one of the highlights when I was talking, out of all the people I talked to, I really, really enjoyed talking to Professor Noctis. Professor Noctis does some Twitch content. I think you're on YouTube, but you're a professor, and you got your doctorate. The Professor Noctis got his doctorate. He wrote his dissertation on Final Fantasy 15. I loved hearing that story. That story was so cool, man. I really loved hearing your story. And how cool is that? Man, getting to write your dissertation, that's something I would have done, honestly. I would have found a way. I gotta find a way to incorporate Final Fantasy in everything I do for school. I did that for when I went to Full Sail. Pretty much everything. Every project I got for Full Sail, I always found a way to twist it. Like, how can I get this to be related to video games in some way? But yeah, so really, really cool. And that's just, Professor Noctis, one of the many people that I was able to meet. Which I'm going to talk about in a second. Skytron, I would see Skytron thought of Phil Spencer too. You know what I mean? You think of Philly Spence. You know what I mean? Phil. He's such a cool guy, man. He's such a cool guy, but man, there's so many things I could ask him and tell him. The Rebirth trailer analysis recently was great too. Oh, thank you so much, Skytron. Oh man, Skytron, favorite FF creator, content creator for years now. I mean, that stuff really connects, man. I cannot tell you how like motivating that is when I read stuff like that. Because I'm just like anybody else, man. I'm the warrior of hype, but I get my moments of like, what's the opposite of hype? Apathy. Apathetic. The warrior of apathy sometimes. Where I'm just kind of like, ah, man, I get caught up in my own head, like, ah. And that was another part of this trip. Not frustrating moments, but kind of like being surrounded by all of these really talented people. And of course, surrounded by like people who have had their hands in the pot of Final Fantasy in development. That was my moment. That was my big moment right there. I mean, I love meeting everybody, but for me, I love the game industry. I love that side of things, meeting developers, the people who are bringing this stuff to us. It's the kind of things, the voice actors who bring it to life. That stuff really, really, I don't know, pinch me moments, right? Like, that's the parts where I get nervous. I get nervous to be around them. But I got to shake hands with Kazutoya Mihiro. I got to shake his hand. Hiroshi Takai. I got to shake his hand. Masayoshi Soken shook his hand and told him, I was like, listen, I just interviewed 3 fans, and the translator, the interpreter, was able to translate this for me. I was like, I just interviewed 3 random fans waiting to get in, and their most anticipated thing is the music. And he went, which was really cool, man. So yeah, and yeah, man, just getting to hang out with those guys. The people who, like the staff, Square-Enix. But anyways, yeah, I mean, like, I can go through like a couple things, the people I met, and some moments I had with them for sure. Let's see. Kind of catching up real quick in chat. I just want to catch up with you guys. Ryan says, I've been watching a lot of content with Ben Starr over the past couple days. What a guy, dude. I watched him on Kinda Funny. Kinda Funny is like my favorite, that's my favorite outlet for content. I watch Kinda Funny all the time, every single episode. So the fact that he was doing Games Daily was really cool. And then he did a live playthrough of the demo with Mike and Andy. That was cool too. Yeah. So and he's just a fan. One of my favorite moments of this entire, and this is just going to be, this is so simple. This is such a simple moment. And actually, Sphere Hunter had it on video. If I can bring it up, maybe I can bring it up for you guys. But Sphere Hunter had it on video of me just sitting down on the floor with Ben Starr. Like, I saw him sitting on the floor. There was a spot next to open to him, and I just kind of sat down next to him. And there was nothing, like, I just kind of said, "How you doing, Ben?" You know, just a little, "What's up, man? We watched it. This is my favorite trailer." I told him, I was like, "This is my favorite trailer. I love the Revenge trailer. It's my favorite." And he said, "I like Salvation. You know, Salvation's my favorite." I was like, "Yeah, awesome, man." So we were just sitting there, and I could tell that this is not the time for a conversation, because he was genuinely excited about watching this trailer. And I was like, I'm just going to watch the trailer with him. And we just watched the trailer. I look over at him, he looks over at me, and I just smile, and he's smiling, and I'm just like, this is awesome. What a simple moment, but like elevated. You know, it was just so cool. It was a moment of little bit of words, but I'm watching, you know, with Ben Starr, the voice of Clive, watching the Revenge trailer with him, and just feeling his energy radiate because he's so excited about Final Fantasy. He knows his stuff. He loves video games in general, just like me. I mean, like, we do Final Fantasy podcasts. He's the main character of Final Fantasy. But we love video games. And I could feel that. I could sense that. And it was just, it's just a really cool moment. Things I wish I would have done differently. I wish I would have actually had a conversation with him. I was just really excited. So I got to speak with him a little bit. We got to talk a little bit, but I mean, I just want to talk to him more. It's just one of those guys that you just want to talk to more. David Menken and Nina Indis, the voice of Barnabas and Benedicta, respectively. those two are some of the most the nicest people, so the most easy to talk to. I really, really enjoyed speaking with them, and they, I mean, they spent time, which is something will always consider one of the greatest things you can give somebody is your time. And they gave us their time. They talked to us. They got to, and they were just super nice to us. They even did that little mini interviews that I've uploaded on YouTube. Those mini interviews. They didn't have to do that. They weren't doing interviews that day. But yeah, I mean, just super nice people. So big shout out to them. And then of course Ralph Ineson was there, the voice of Sid, the voice of Sidolphus. And my two friends that were Robert was with us. That's a friend of mine, and Vinny, of course, the Firaga fighter. They're huge fans of Ralph Ineson because of Diablo and his work as an actor. They were able to speak with him. They were speaking with him for several minutes. So I don't know what they were talking about, but several minutes he gave them undivided attention, which was really cool, man. And of course Ben Starr, like I said, he was making the rounds. He was all over the place trying to meet as many people as he could, and I respect that. I respect the whole cast. Just really awesome. Yeah, so let's see. Hey, Ace McLovin, I made it. What's up, Ace McLovin? Block Sheep. Yeah, the music is a huge part of Final Fantasy in general. It's what I remember most from playing Final Fantasy IV. Right. I love one person commented on our YouTube channel, if I can bring him up. Was like it's the CDC or the CDC suggests that 40% of Final Fantasy fans are here for the music or something like that. That was good. It's like it's a scientific fact. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, there you go, Ryan. United fan, and Ralph Ineson is a legend in my eyes. Yeah, yeah. I have a friend that was he actually got the tickets through the website when they went up, and he's from Dublin. He's from Dublin, so he really enjoyed that as well. Yeah. Let's see. You guys think we might get more Rebirth info after 16 is out? Oh, well, I mean, I know what you're trying to say, but I'm like, yes. But I know what you're trying to say. I think Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. I thought of Will Ferrell. It's a scientific fact. Yep. Oh, cool. Ryan, you've been a fan of Kind of Funny as well. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, man, I love Kind of Funny. So, yeah, when it comes to the people I met, you asked if I met Phil, and I did get to speak with Phil a little bit. It was super nice. There was it was a moment with Phil. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Legions. Was like, now I get to see everybody's recognize them from the backs of their head, and I was like, well, I mean, I immediately recognized Phil and Aaliyah from the back of their heads. they got very distinguishable hair. So that was cool. Very nice people. I didn't get to speak with them long though. I tell you who it was really, really cool to speak with. Well, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, aren't I? I was going to go back to the Play Days thing and Summer Game Fest, but I'll stick with the with the Final Fantasy 16 thing for now. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, just being around like all of these creators in one room was really cool. And it's just, but it's also at the same time, it was kind of awkward or weird. I don't know if you guys will understand where I'm coming from with that. I am an energetic guy, right? It's not like, so Warrior of Hype isn't just a character I play on Final Fan TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Warrior of Hype is who I am. That's why I gave myself that name. And especially when I'm in an environment that is just providing energy. I feed on it. I feast on it. I love like high energy, exciting times. I'm building off of that. I'm a hyper dude. I'm a very like I'm there to make noise. I'm there to be excited. I'm there to have a fun time. You know what I mean? So I always kind of wondered if that clicked with everyone. I know it doesn't. You know, I went to high school. So I know that energy doesn't click with everybody, and it's not a show, man. That's just who I am. But yeah, I mean, like I really enjoyed speaking with one of the first people I spoke with at the party that was before the event was Midna. Really nice. One of the first people I got spoke with. And then Curious Joy at the Play Days, also another person who is just, you know, like that feeds on that energy, and I like being around those upbeat people. So that was really cool to meet Curious Joy, and get to tell her that I was like, hey, you know, I watched your Final Fantasy 16 preview, and I just love that energy that you have. You can tell that you're genuinely excited about it. Yeah, I mean, like, ran into Baby Seal, who's always looking to like just help, which is really nice. Always looking to help out. It was really wonderful to meet Sleep Easy in person. He's so genuinely happy to see us. Like he was so genuinely happy to see us, and he was also just genuinely excited for us. It will be engraved in my mind when Yoshi P surprised us on screen. So Yoshida-san comes up behind us, and just I'm in the middle of doing this stupid I'm like imitating Clive when he uses the Titan punch. You know, like, and like that guttural sound that he does when he uses the punch. And I'm doing that, and as I did that, like, Yoshida taps me on the shoulder, and I go, "Oh, snap, dude!" Like, that was cool. And when Yoshida walks away, I look like he walks away, and in the background, I just see Sleep Easy going, you know, he's like, he just seems genuinely happy for us, and that was cool, man. I'll remember that. Yeah. Who else, man? Who else? Night Sky Prince was. I consider Night Sky Prince as another inspiration for starting Final Fan TV. Kind of funny, the biggest inspiration, but you know, seeing Night Sky Prince videos, I used to watch it all the time leading up to Remake, and it was just like, man, I want to talk to people about Final Fan TV. I want to talk about Final Fan TV or Final Fantasy, and I was like, so we just did. You know, that's when I you know, pitched the idea. We started Final Fan TV. So meeting Night Sky Prince in person was a really cool moment for me. Also, his girlfriend was really nice to us. So it was just a lot of great people. I met Alex Mukala. Alex Mukala, like being able to, he asked me what our goals were, and you know, at first I always get this impression that people don't want to hear what I say. You know, so I'll speak fast just to get it out, and like, you know, so they can move on. But Alex was like, he was listening, and I thought that was really cool of Alex, man. Like, he asked what our goals were, and I told him, and he just kind of like put his hand on my shoulder and said, "You get it, man. You're getting there. You're gonna get there." So really nice guy. Yeah, Alex's arrangement for the Memoria project, fantastic, man. Alex is such a talented person, and he got to play music with Soken on the stage. I can imagine what a moment that was. He got to play, I believe it was the Prelude they played together, and he was on bass. Soken-san was on the piano. Just really cool moment. I was watching from the audience, and I got chills. Another thing that I was watching with Ben Starr. Like, just standing next to him. I would just like randomly pop up next to him like a ghost. Just boom. What's up, Ben? And just watch things with him. So that was really cool, man. Yeah, and then man, what else? yeah, just if I kept on going, I could go on forever with this stream of everybody I met. Januzzi, Gamers Bordello, everyone with the SDGC Super Deluxe Gaming Cast, so the XDGC. SDGC podcast. Everybody there was really nice to us as well, and made us feel welcome, and that was really cool. Here's a moment that really blew my mind. Right, I was talking to somebody about, I believe I was talking to Threefold. Awesome dude, talking to Threefold, and somebody just in the background said, "Hey, when are you bringing back Wheel of Final Fantasy, man?" And I said, wait a second. I said, we haven't done Wheel of Final Fantasy in a year or so, like over a year. And he's like, I know, I've been waiting. And I'm like, that blew my mind, because I'm like, you've been a fan of ours for a year? Like, that kind of stuff just really, I'd say it just takes me back a little bit. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I get taken aback with that. So, that was kind of cool, man. Just meeting people, and then like Januzzi coming up to me and he's like, I just watched your reaction video on Rebirth. And I'm like, what? Nice. So that was cool. Wheel of Final Fantasy was boss. Yeah, nobody's taken down the boss either, Black Sheep. If we remember correctly, Tiamat still sits on her lofty perch. Undefeated. Maybe we need to get you on there, Black Sheep. Yeah, so if you guys have Drumjod, awesome, good to see you. Sorry I missed you coming in here. What's up, Drumjod? It was an awesome experience. The Warrior of Hype, yes, Moogle Mastery. I was trying so hard to get him on this show, and we were in the Discord call, but I couldn't get my mic and camera to work with Discord. For some reason, it just wasn't working. So Moogle, what was your favorite moments there? Because Moogle was there. Moogle Mastery was there. What was your favorite moment? Yeah. So what's up, guys? Do you have any questions about anything regarding this? I'll tell you I was going to talk about my frustrating moments. A frustrating moment for me was leaving Summer Game Fest live too early. That was one of the most frustrating things for me, because I was there enjoying it, having a great time. They ended it with Rebirth, and let me tell you, I was just freaking ecstatic. Like, I was so hype. You guys saw the reaction video. You saw how excited I was. And then the show just ends. So we all get up. Everybody is just kind of making their way to the entrance. So I'm just following the crowd, feeling the energy, like hyping up everybody. I'm like, whoa, how are you guys feeling right now? You know, like I'm hyping up the crowd as we're walking out. I'm like, whoa! We walk out the building. I don't know if I can name drop, so I'm just gonna say somebody texted me and was like, hey, where are you at? You wanna come meet up? We're at the lounge area. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to meet up, dude. I'll be there in a moment. And yeah, so I walked back, and they said, you can't go back into the theater once you've left. And I was like, I was like, but and I brought out my microphones, and I was like, I'm with Final Fan TV, and I have an interview scheduled in there in the lounge area. And they said, we can't let you back in. And I was so mad. Man, I was mad. But it was a really cool, because I mean, we had nothing else to do for the rest of the day, and I learned for next time, I'm going to only leave when they kick me out. That's my mindset next time. I will leave when I'm kicked out. So I will do that differently. Yeah, I mean, like that. Anyways, I mean, like that experience there was just such a high and a low at the same time, because I mean, I was in the theater when they showed Rebirth, and that was just, oh man, so good. I don't know what the rest of the audience was doing, but man, I couldn't sit still on how excited I was. I'm also the DoorDash guy. Like when in between, he shows Ever Crisis. And then after showing Ever Crisis, Jeff Cayley goes, "Oh, and speaking of Final Fantasy," and I said, "What, Jeff? What you got for me, Jeff?" And I said that really, it just came out. It just came out. Like, "Jeff, what you got? What you about to do, Jeff? What you gonna do, Jeff?" And then he just, he just goes, "No, no, no, no. DoorDash has your back." He got me, man. He got me. I was, but you could tell, man. You could tell. He's like, "You just wait until the end of the show. We got you." So that that moment was really cool. And it was cool that you can hear me on on stream. Yeah. So what else we got? Let me make sure my. There we go. My mic's working again. Is my mic? Yeah, it looks like it's coming through. Yeah. That moment fired me up too, Black Sheep. What's up, MCP? Good to see you. Moogle Mastery says, "My favorite was by far seeing Ben Starr walking directly in front of me, and I completely froze." Oh, did you not get to say hi to him or shake his hand, Moogle? Oh man, like, I know how that is though. Like, you just freaking freeze up, and there's so, oh no, Moogle, I'm sorry, man. Like, there's so many things that you want to say in your mind. Like, you have all of these things prepared. You're like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see him so I can say this and this, and we can talk about this." You know, like Ben Starr being a big fan of Final Fantasy VIII, or I mean, like, this was another thing. Like, I wanted to talk to him, and it crossed my mind, but I was like, no, it's not the right time. So I'm gonna get a little serious for a moment. But like, Ben Starr shared this on Kind of Funny. If anybody else watched Kind of Funny, you get to hear his story. And for me, like, you guys know that I lost my brother, and when he talked about losing his father and how Final Fantasy 16, like, he was making Final Fantasy 16, or he was in the process of recording for it, and he lost his father, and he said that Final Fantasy 16 helped him navigate that loss. And I have that same connection with Final Fantasy VII, that Final Fantasy VII helped me, navigate the loss of my brother through that game, and the themes of that game, and dealing with loss. That was a really big theme of Final Fantasy VII, was like moving on from loss, and like, or overcoming a tragedy of some sort. And the fact that he said that about 16 really has me. I want that. I know it seems weird, but I want to feel that connection. So I'm pretty, like, when he shared his story, it was something that meant a lot to me, and I wasn't able to tell him, and I just didn't know if it would have been the right time, right? I didn't know if it would have been a good time to bring that up. We're at a party or we're at a launch event, but that kind of stuff. He was being really open and honest about losing his dad. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. and then Andy's hair. Yeah, Andy's hair was tight though. I'm not gonna lie. That's something I would do for sure if I had the hair. I loved how he said, "I'm wrestling with male pattern baldness. It's hard to pull this off with male pattern baldness." That's how I am. Yeah, I mean, you can see the bald spot on my head. I hate it. But anyways. Yeah, I mean, like, jealous you guys got to meet Yoshi. Oh man, what a awesome moment that was. I mean, I didn't get to speak with him. Like, everything that you saw on the stream was me just being completely baffled and just dumbfounded. Like, I'm trying to speak to him. I don't even know what I was saying. I'm like, "Oh my god, there you are, there you are." I did get to shake his hand, and that is always really important to me. Like, to be able to shake his hand and say thank you, for all the work that they've done to bring this very special game to us. So I got to do that with almost the whole development team. So that was really cool. I do regret not going through the meet and greet, because I was trying really hard to secure interviews and stuff like that, which I should have refocused and just, you know, got to do that, get them to sign a poster. I didn't do that, so that's a regret. The new CEO, man. I love the new CEO. Let me make sure I get his name right. I even wrote about him recently. Takashi Kiru. Takashi Kiru. What an inspiring and awesome keynote opening. Takashi Kiru, the new president of of Square-Enix, is such a passionate fan of Final Fantasy. It brings me so much excitement to know that this brand, Final Fantasy, is in such good hands right now between Yoshi P and Takashi Kiru. Just they're big fans of Final Fantasy, man, and Yoshinori Kitase. But we'll see what they do with Rebirth. But I mean, I just love that they are just really big fans of Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? And it shows in every aspect. And when he shared his story of people telling him that you won't be anything with gaming. If you play video games, you won't be able to do anything. I literally got goosebumps in the audience. I don't know if somebody got that on camera, if one of my friends was filming me, but I was like, dude, my hair is sticking up. I got hair in the back of my neck sticking up, goosebumps. That really hit, man. Takashi Kiru with that opening keynote earned a lot of respect from me. A lot of respect. So I really like that. It was a nice gesture how the CEO spoke in English. He spoke in English the whole time. So much respect for this guy. So much respect. I mean, he didn't have to do that, and we would have still respected him for it. But man, that's awesome. That's really awesome, and it really does connect with the fans. And I hope he knows that. You know, I think he does. I wish I would have been able to meet him. Apparently he was walking around, and I didn't see him. I didn't see him anywhere. So I wish I would have been able to meet him in person. That would have been awesome. And tell him that personally, that his speech was very inspiring, and you know, I earned a lot of respect. I respected him a lot from that one. So yeah. Let's see. Let me catch back up. Sorry about that. Did Yoshi P also sneak up on you? Saw some clips of other people he did that to. Yeah, Skytron, he did. I should probably go back and clip that and share it as well, like everybody else is. Yeah, I'll go back and find that in the VOD and clip it out for you, and then share it on Twitter. I mean, I don't even know what I said, so it'll be interesting watching that again. I don't even know what I said. Okay, we'll do. What else am I missing? He was being really open. Yep. And then he's humble. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Moogle. He was talking to everybody, man. I'm so sorry you didn't get to meet, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet you in person. I was actually really looking forward to that. So what happened was my real phone, my actual phone, stayed in my zip pocket. Like I just zipped it, so I didn't lose it. And then we were using a different phone that was compatible with the microphones we had, and so we're using this different phone to film. And that's basically, I never even checked my phone during that. That's what we were using for video and everything like that. So I just never even checked my phone. I would have loved to have met you and got a picture with you. That would have been really cool. MCP says, I'm confident the hype wasn't for nothing. 16 is on pace for GOTY. I think you're right. Dude, this demo is bringing out some really great vibes. People who were not interested in 16 are now interested in pre-ordering. I love that reaction recap where the guy was like, no, it's over. And then he just goes straight to it and he pre-orders the deluxe edition. I feel like so many people did that. I'm seeing on the timeline, got a PlayStation 5. I'm seeing in our Discord with Drake EC, got a PlayStation 5. People are buying the console so they can play Final Fantasy 16. This is a moment, everybody. This is a moment. That demo was probably the best demo to showcase a game in a long time. Not only were you able to play the first 2 hours of the game and then transfer that progress over, but you were able to also kind of sample what the game will be like later on in a specially curated part of the game. When you play that part of the game, you're only going to have Phoenix. Like, you're not going to have all three of those iconic abilities, and I think that is, I think that's just a brilliant way to do it. Brilliant. So yeah, I mean, I love that demo, and it seems like it is selling the game, selling consoles, man. Yo, how hard did your body crash after that weekend full of hype? Subtext. I'm still recovering, to be honest. I woke up, so we're 3 hours behind, which is, I'm not saying that's jet lag or anything. There were people flying in from England. All the voice casts had to fly in from England. But man, like, I was like, that's not going to be nothing. It's going to be fine. Man, the morning of, because we came back on Monday, so Tuesday morning, I just kept sleeping. I was just like, I got to sleep and catch up on some sleep, because what we did was, I really wanted to jam-pack the week with stuff to do. I hate sitting still when I'm on, like, especially when I'm in LA or somewhere special. I hate sitting still. Like, so, and there were several moments of that where that was just super frustrating, but that's a different thing. But yeah, like, so we went to go see Transformers in 4DX, which was really cool. But that was only available showing was 10 p.m. So we didn't get back until like 1 a.m. And then we had to wake right back up in the morning to go to Disneyland, because I was like, dude, we're in there. We got to go to Galaxy's Edge. We got to get ourselves a lightsaber. That was it. And I have a great story about lightsabers. But I gotta have something for the Patreon supporters and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, we got to get lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge. Disneyland, do not go there. What a bust. What a like a boring time. Galaxy's Edge was awesome, but the rest of the park was just really boring. So, anyways, that was kind of frustrating, but also one of the best moments was getting to hold that lightsaber. Anyways, yeah, right after that, we had to make get out of Disneyland and go straight to the Square-Enix activation at Summer Game Fest Playdays, which was a 45-minute drive. We went there, and, like, it was non-stop, guys. At the Summer Game Fest Playdays event, that was a moment. That was one of my favorite moments of this trip. I mean, obviously, the 16 event, it was what we were there for, and that was an incredible moment. But, God, getting to walk through that, yeah, just really cool. I met Tim Geddes. I got to meet Tim Geddes and tell him in person. I was like, dude, you're the main inspiration for me starting this show. And he goes, oh, cool, man. Thank you so much. He's like, what's the name of your channel? And I was like, Final Fan TV. And he went, no way! I've seen your tweets. And I'm like, what? So, just being able to reach Tim Geddes has been, that was a really cool thing to learn. That I've reached Tim Geddes. I mean, I have tagged him in a lot of the stuff too. But you know how it is. You know, usually you just see it and then you just like it and I guess you move on or something. But like, no, he's been paying attention, and that was really cool. And it's just like kind of how I like to handle things too, man. I would hope that if I met somebody in public that I would know who they are, but he gets this from thousands and thousands of people, and he recognized us, so that was really cool. Yeah, starstruck indeed. Very starstruck. He was like, yeah, you got the oh no, that was a different person. So Tim Geddes recognized us from Twitter. I did get to meet Blessing Adeoye Jr., which was really cool. I didn't really... They were all very busy, and when they're at the Play Days thing, they're all doing their own thing, and I don't want to intrude, right? So I kind of went in there, I just shook his hand and said, thank you so much for all the work that you do. Kind of funny, big fan. And then, like, you know, met him. I met Paris Lily, which that was really cool. I met Paris Lily at the Summer Game Fest Live in the YouTube theater. And I got a picture with him, actually. But yeah, and then after that, during the Final Fantasy 16 event, Michael Ham, the guy who does GameSpot, Michael, he does the Final Fantasy 16 coverage, and I got to go up to him and like shake his hand, and I was just like, man, I really respect the work that you do. And when you were on Kind of Funny, you had talked about how you were possibly, you know, like I have to roll credits before I can make a judgment on this game, but he's such a big Final Fantasy fan that I was really curious of what his thoughts were. And of course he was like, no, I'm embargoed, so I can't really talk to you about it, but definitely check out the games cast when it comes out. And I was like, oh, for sure. And then he said, so what's your name? And you know, you have a channel or something like that. And I said, oh, I'm Daniel with Final Fan TV. And he said, Final Fan TV. He went, and I said, no way you recognize us. And he said, no, I do, man. You have the logo. It says FFTV, and then it has the Final Fan TV Ifritan, or no, the 16 Ifritan Phoenix logo in the background. And I was like, no way, man. So that was really cool too. That was really cool. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, it's just so many moments. What are we talking about in chat, guys? Let me catch up with you guys. I have friends who never played Final Fantasy and said that they've kept hearing crazy stuff and want to try it. That's subtext. Yeah. My brother. I don't know if I can say that he specifically bought a PS5 for Final Fantasy 16, but he's been a hardcore, I mean like hardcore bleed green Xbox fan. And he bought a PS5 and he's looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 16. Hasn't played a Final Fantasy, God, since PS1 era. I don't know, probably 8. So it's really cool that he's excited for it. And then I've seen people talk about, like, I think it was Captain Cosmic who was like, you know, I just showed my wife this game and she's going to play it. She doesn't play games. It's just really cool, you know. The rings, like the accessibility rings, really helping people get into it. So big props to that and everything. Let's see, what else we talking about. Skytron says, I predict that Final Fantasy 16 won't win the GOTY just because Zelda, but will receive most of the big most of the big awards. Just like God of War did. God of War Ragnarok swept the Game Awards. Didn't win Game of the Year, though. I mean, I got nothing against Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. I don't love Elden Ring. I respect Elden Ring. but man, come on. God of War gets pretty much every award and then doesn't win Game of the Year. That was that's probably what will happen with 16. It definitely will win Best Action Game. Definitely going to win Best Soundtrack. Definitely probably going to win Best Narrative. But I mean, if it's Game of the Year, that will be quite the accomplishment, especially when you're stacked up against Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, and I want to throw in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's currently my Game of the Year, and I have played Tears of the Kingdom. Haven't beat Tears of the Kingdom, but I imagine that the story's not going to blow me away any. I've kind of gotten the gist of what the game is, and I really love the game. It's just not going to be a game that it's Tears of the Kingdom. Gameplay is king, right? Gameplay is just so good and so addicting. The gameplay loop, you want to keep playing it. The story and everything else, like even the I'm not trying to trash on it, but like the music doesn't even hold a candle to nothing to Final Fantasy 16. So it'll be very interesting. People love Zelda. I love Zelda, but I wouldn't put it as Game of the Year. And then let's see. MCP says, I feel like Zelda hasn't gotten much praise like it normally does. Plus, how many times are we going to save the princess? I mean, like I said, like the story doesn't really. I don't know. There is a story there, and I thought it was kind of cool. The opening of Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, oh snap, this opening of Tears of the Kingdom is pretty epic. But yeah. It. I can't say that it hasn't gotten the praise because I've been watching a lot of like kind of funny again, and they just can't stop talking about that game, and then just the TikTok videos. People, it took over TikTok for like a whole month, and it's still kind of going, but it is a very popular like game to share and you know, share your unique creations and stuff, and people love that kind of stuff. So I would say that it does gonna have that popularity behind it. I would definitely say it's buzzing, and it was buzzing like significantly about a month ago. The Tim Geddes story, man. I love Tim Geddes. That's just the way it is. Oh, and then he also saw my Warrior of Hype shirt I was wearing, and he's like, I like the Warrior of Hype, and I'm like the Master of Hype. What do we get? What's this? So it was really cool, man. Let's see. Glad you're getting recognized. It's been a long time coming. Thank you, Skytron. Thank you, Skytron. Like I said, man, it's just really cool. You know, I never expect it. Just never expect it. It always kind of blows me away when somebody's like, oh yeah, you know, Warrior of Hype. Just cool. And like, somebody comment and said the Warrior of Hype is, or you are most definitely the Warrior of Hype, or something like that. I get a comment like that, and I'm just like, nice. Okay, so yes, I do want to hear something funny, MCP. So let me hear what you got. When I was Googling who were the top Final Fantasy YouTube channels to share the Floor 67 project, and asked them to review it, one of the sites said Final Fan TV was number 1. Whoa, wait a second, let me read that back. When I was Googling who were the top Final Fantasy YouTube channels to share the Floor 67 project to, and asked them to review it, one of the sites said Final Fan TV was number 1. Ooh, that's pretty awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually wrote out or I was in the middle of writing out a script to review Floor 67. It has been so incredibly busy because I'm trying to like Final Fantasy 16, just content after content of 16. So that way, if Square-Enix ever went to our channel and says, what should we do with this 16 or with this FFTV guys? Are they worthy? I wanted them to see it was 16 all day. So I never did get around to doing that, unfortunately. But that's awesome that we were recommended as number 1. Really cool, man. I would love to see that article. I'm very curious where these scores come in. The cultural heat around Final Fantasy 16 is pretty crazy right now, and if the reviews come in hot, it's not impossible to get GOTY. Subtext, that is very interesting. Based on the demo, I think the story is going to be something that is like revolutionary, man. Like in an interesting, in the way that like Last of Us, you know, like sets the standard of video games telling premium television quality stories through video games. And I know video games have always been incredible when they tell their stories, but this game, based on the demo alone, I was like, I'm watching, or I'm playing an interactive episode of Game of Thrones. And I mean that in the absolute best way possible. Everybody has to keep in mind that Game of Thrones was one of the best shows on television. Like, it was the best show on television during that time in the first 4 seasons, and then it was definitely at the final seasons as well, but they weren't reviewed as well. But man, the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, it felt like I was watching that. It felt like I was starting a new, like, Game of Thrones spin-off, right? And I mean that in the best way possible. I really do. I just I think it has the potential. The story has the potential to really blow people away. And then when you couple that with, or I guess when you combine that with all of the different elements that are going into this game, everybody I've heard play this game and react to it immediately goes, "Oh my god, the soundtrack is amazing. It's freaking a banger, dude." Like, people love the soundtrack. Almost one of the first things they notice, and they have this incredible action on screen, and they're just like, "Holy shit, this thing is mind blowing," right? Like, they're watching this and just kind of losing their minds because the sound is matching the action, and it's causing this marriage of greatness. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing incredible action, you're getting the sound to meet the to rise and meet the occasion. You know what I mean? It's just, God, it gives you chills, man. And I mean, no other game is doing that. That's I try to take a step back and look at it from an unbiased position. I'm just like, all right, no, I mean, God of War Ragnarok definitely. I mean, like, has that scale, has that epic, the epic battles, but even God of War Ragnarok, and I'm a big fan of God of War. I love God of War. It's not meeting the scale of this game. Like, it hasn't met the scale. It didn't meet the scale of this game. You know, God of War 3, that has the scale of this game, but of course that's a PS3 game. So yeah, I mean, just, I don't know, man. I haven't seen this, and I think people are going to, like, critics are going to see that, and hopefully it's going to resonate with them, where they're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, this is a one-of-a-kind game. This deserves GOTY. But yeah, it'll be very, very interesting where it falls in the scores. I mean, I'm trying to think, when I was playing the game, like, is there anything that's kind of, this isn't super great, but I love the combat. I love the movement is smooth. I guess the jumping is a little bit kind of stiff, but that's just me trying to nitpick and find something. God. All right, so yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Let's see what else we got. Skytron. It'll be God of War Ragnarok's in there. Yep. For the game of the year. Final Fantasy 16 has newness on its side, and it really breaks through with with the audience. Then who knows? Yeah, subtext. I really agree. Because, like, Tears of the Kingdom, fantastic game, very familiar, right? It's a very familiar game. It's almost like an extension of Breath of the Wild. So yeah, my favorite moment was I was able to meet someone awesome, or some awesome, amazing people. Blitz, Maximilian, Unileska from Unileska Games, and even Caleb Hart. Yeah, awesome, Moogle. That's awesome that you got to meet those guys, those people, because, like, I mean, they're great people too. I got to meet them as well. When you saw the interview I had with Maximilian, that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting him to do an interview with us, and in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have asked him. That was kind of a little forthcoming there, but I don't know, man. I just wanted to talk to him, and I wanted a reason to get his thoughts. And I'm like, well, if I'm getting his thoughts, man, let me just see if I can get it on camera. But yeah, I don't know. I always feel weird doing that. Just kind of want to talk to people, but I'm also there to make content. Like, that was my goal. Like, I'm there to make content because I want Square-Enix to look back at our channel and go, oh yeah, we should definitely invite them again. But I'm also there just because I'm, big fans of all these people, so, and just want to have a good time. So it was a balance. But yeah, I got to meet those people as well. So I'm really happy that you got to meet them as well, Moogle. Let's see. There were some people that I was standing right next to that I didn't know I was standing next to. I will be completely honest. and if I would have known, it would have been awesome. Because most of the time you see like they have an anime character or they have like a cartoon character of themselves, and I don't really recognize them in person. Yeah, there was a lot of that. I'm like, oh wow, you're that person. Okay, okay, I should have said hi. Yeah. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Glad to see you guys in chat, man. It seems like you guys are having a good time talking, man. I like that. I like that. The atmosphere, the music, the story, it's just so unforgettable. You're right, Moogle. 16's story will really resonate and be memorable. That's right, Jump Jod. Yeah, Skytron says in terms of actual substance, quality, and tone, 16 is just swiping the floor. I mean, I do. You might be right. You might be right. You might be right. I keep on bringing back to Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I absolutely just love that game, and the story in that was some of the best Star Wars I've seen in decades. So it's hard to go against that. But when you got the quality of 16 right now, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, dude. I was like, dude, I wonder if it's possible. I turned down all the sound effects, I turned down all the voiceovers, and I just let the music play in the demo, and that's what I recorded for that video on YouTube. Dude, the music, you can almost play this game without those things and just you will feel something. I think that's like WALL-E, the Disney Pixar movie. You don't even have to hear a line of dialogue, but you feel something, right? And I think that's awesome. 16. Let's see. I think so. Minor complaint is that there's no hard mode at the start of the game. I agree. So the thing is, at first when I was at the show during the Summer Game Fest play days, I was able to actually go behind closed doors, which, let me tell you, that was a cool experience. To go behind closed doors, nobody else was allowed to do this. Well, not nobody, but only select few. I got to go behind closed doors and play that Garuda demo that leads into the Garuda versus Ifrit Icon versus Icon. So I got to go in there and play that. And I was getting just my butt whooped. I was getting whooped in that game. And I was like, ooh. And I got, I took off all the accessories. I was like, all right, I want to play this game and see how it is. And I was just getting absolutely wrecked. So for the first time I played it, I was getting wrecked. Of course, you throw in all the iconic abilities that you wouldn't have at the start. So I wasn't eased in like the game intends you to be eased into it. But I was really happy to see Clive's health bar fall into the red, because you never see that in any of the trailers. Like, you're like, this game just looks way too easy. And Clive's health bar fell in the red. I'm using potions. I'm trying so hard. And the Square-Enix guy behind me, the Square-Enix guy comes up behind me and he goes, hey, if you press the start button, you can actually use a high potion. You have high potions in your inventory. And I went, yeah, no, I don't. No, I've already done that. I was like, I got no potions left, man. I am about to be screwed here. I did use my my limit break, which actually recovers some of your health as you use it. And that was able to get me through that fight. I never got a game over. I was able to just get through it with using that limit breaker to save my life. Come in clutch. But that was really funny to have the Square Enix guy behind me just go, hey man, you seem to be struggling. No, he was really cool too. I wish I would have remembered his name. Really cool guy. Yeah, so I was getting whooped, but now playing the demo several times, as I'm sure everybody here has played the demo like hundreds of times, I went from just getting wiped to like, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. I'm finding my combos. I'm finding what works best for me. It's an internal clock with the iconic abilities where I'm like, now's the time to just unleash this combo. That my favorite combo is the, close in the gap with the Phoenix Shift. Use the Phoenix Shift or the Phoenix Tornado thing. You follow that up with Garuda's Claws. You follow that up with Garuda's Swipe Up. You bring it back down with Titan's Fist, and then you just finish it off like that. That is such a basic combo from what I'm seeing now on Twitter. People are posting some insane combos. But you save that combination for when they're staggered, and it's so satisfying. It is so satisfying. And it's kind of gotten to the point now where I'm getting those perfect dodges. I'm getting it down like really well, and I'm starting to notice, I'm like, man, I kind of wish there was a hard mode. I get that they wanted everybody to have this shared experience of just getting through the story, but for me, I love the challenge as it feels like it's part of the adventure. One of the big things that I point out is that Star Wars Jedi Survivor. With Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I played that on Jedi Master, or one of the hardest difficulties. And when I watched reviews, kind of funny once again, they were like, "Oh man, I just never feel like it was a challenge. I'm always just kind of hacking and slashing." And I'm like, you feel like a Jedi if you put it on the harder difficulty. You have to wait. You never strike first. Always defense, right? Like, you kind of like feel your opponent out. Doesn't matter who you're going against. And you just kind of like, it feels like it's part of the journey. And I feel like if Final Fantasy would have done that, that would have been really cool. Like, to have that hard mode at launch would have been great. Tigress, taking notes? What are you taking notes for, Tigress? I mean, I'm kind of curious. What's up, Tigress? How you doing? Oh wait, Tigress, were you hanging out with us? I feel like we hang out. For the combos, nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was you. Awesome. One of my favorite moments of this trip. I gotta say, now that Tigress is here, I'm glad you're here, because I was gonna bring this up. Was that Crane and Tigress reached out to us? Like, I didn't know they lived in LA. Reached out to us and was just like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" It was our last night. We had to catch a flight we had to be up at like 6 a.m. And they were like, "Do you guys want to hang out tonight?" And I was like, we can't pass up an opportunity to hang out with these people. And me and Vinny went out and hung out with them until 3 a.m. Because we were just talking. It felt like just hanging out with friends. And that was like, me and Vinny talked about that, Tigress. Me and Vinny talked about that all the way, like on the way home. We were just like, man, that was really cool. Like, they just felt like talking to friends, We were just hanging out. So thank you for that. Thanks for reaching out. Yeah. So definitely think a hard mode at the beginning of the game would be good for people like me. But I will replay this game 100 times. So just like I've done with this demo. Let's see. Yeah, this Jedi Survivor feels like a middle part of a bigger story. I agree. It's such a great, like, second entry, man. I'm so excited for the third game. The demo, I was equipping weaker gear to make my... Yeah, so it's going to be like that, right? It's going to be like that. If you want to make it challenging, just don't equip the stronger gear. do a zero equip run, freaking naked run or something like that. Where you just take off all the accessories, take off all the equipment. Yeah, or you could be like when Maximilian and Ryota Suzuki were fighting that super boss that was like 15 levels above them. That's the kind of challenge I want. Of course, you could probably grind it out and get yourself to match that level and make that fight easier. But I kind of want that challenge. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to do that. Let's see what we got here, guys. In the demo, yeah. That was Drumjod, by the way. Drumjod says, did my 4th and 5th playthrough of the iconic challenge today, trying to become more natural at the controls and get good before streaming the full game. Oh, it's awesome that you're going to be streaming it. Everybody, check out Drumjod. Had him on the show. I would say recently, but I guess it's been a couple months now. But yeah, like, Drumjod, very passionate person about Final Fantasy, and it was really awesome speaking with you. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of people we've had on the show, man, I got my print. Sketch Junkie. Sketch Junkie was kind enough to send me a print, even though I did the giveaway, so that way fans could get a print of his work. But he actually sent me one, and it turned out amazing. That's Sketch Junkie, by the way, guys. So go show Sketch Junkie some love. Really awesome that he sent me a print. I was very happy about that. Yeah, I mean, we've just had so many great people on the show. So I love shouting out, man. I love shouting them out. I love featuring you guys. I was really hoping to have Moogle Mastery on here today, but something's wrong with Discord. So yeah, let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think things I'll do differently next time. I have like a little like notes here. Things I want to do differently next time when this happens. Hopefully it does. One of my gotta tell you about this one. Gotta tell you about this one because this one made me excited. I was speaking with one of the Square-Enix guys, one of the Square-Enix staff. I made it a point, man. I wanted to go up and shake their hands and say thank you for putting on that show. So I made it a point to shake everyone who was wearing a staff shirt. I wanted to just go up to them and say thank you because this was an incredible experience. You allowed the fans to do this, and to the fans and developers and voice actors all mingling and just having a good time together, celebrating Final Fantasy. I think that was such a really, really cool thing to do. So, God, I gotta give major props to Square Enix for doing that. So, anyways, I just kind of shaking everybody's hand. Once again, I need to be a little bit more. I need to sell myself a little better because they probably don't remember me because I didn't say anything about who I was. I just wanted to say thank you to them. But there was one person who asked who we were, and this person was like one of the big dogs. Really cool guy, really cool person he put on the whole thing. He said he was like, yeah, I kind of was in charge of managing this whole thing, and I was like, wow, thank you so much. So I just wanted to shake your hand, and he says, what's your name? And I said Daniel with Final Fan TV, and he said, oh, okay, cool. I know of you and everything like that, and we were just talking, and like, and then as I was walking away, and he said, hey, I'll see you at the next one, and I just kind of turned around and I said, and he went, and I was like, I like the sound of that, I really do. So hopefully they remember. So I'll see you at the next one. I'm sure it was just an expression, but I mean, man. I'm just happy that it was just like a see you at the next one. You know what I mean? That's a really cool thing to hear because that's our goal. If there was to be a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth event, we want to be there. We want to be there. That's our goals, man. That's our goal. We want to be like. That's why it was so frustrating moments, or not frustrating moments, but just on a personal note. To open up to you guys and be transparent with you. For me, it was super important to make a good impression. But I never once wanted to act like something I wasn't. So I'm really energetic, really excited and stuff. But I mean, like, it was so important to me to like let them know that, hey, this is our goal. We are living the goal that we wanted to do. We're living the goal that we set at the beginning of this year. And we want to keep doing this stuff. We want to keep providing that coverage. We want to bring the hype from whatever event it is. So the next time there's like a London preview event, that's our goal, man. We want to be there. I want to make it known. I want to make it known that that's our goal. It's something we are striving for. I love that, man. I love that. Thank you, MCP. Don't say wanna. We gonna. We're gonna. I like that. We gonna. I like that, man. Thank you, MCP. Yeah, I mean, like, that's just our goals. That's our goals. So it was really important to me make a good impression. but also show them who I am. Like, show them that I'm the warrior of hype, man, and that's who I am as a person. It's not a character I play. It's just who I am as a person. So hopefully it didn't come across annoying or come across wrong. But they seem to really click and enjoy it. So I enjoy talking to them, getting to know them. So hopefully they remember Final Fan TV. That was my goal. Just wanted them to remember Final Fan TV. And like once again, I want to give a huge shout out to Jay with Square-Enix for believing in us, because Jay is awesome. He believed in us, and he made it all possible. So thank you, Jay. Yeah. So next time I probably will do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Next time I will probably do it live. I don't know why I didn't live stream it. I guess I was still getting used to the new equipment. Like we had these new microphones. One time they didn't work. So if you're a Patreon supporter and you get our exclusive talk about the entire experience of getting to LA and the Summer Game Fest experience, we had our mics on, but they weren't working with the phone. So there was a lot of like technical difficulties. But I would love to do it live. Kind of bring you that hype if we are able to bring it live. And if we're not able to bring that live to you, I want to be aware of like when this content will drop, right? I got a lot of interviews because I really wanted to spotlight the fans. A lot of interviews with the fans about what are you excited about when you get in there and to play. Like what are you hoping to play? What are you hoping to get out of the demo? And like, you know, what's your favorite thing like, about Final Fantasy? So I got those interviews. They're probably going to go up on the channel eventually. But yeah, I was like, man, that's actually like asking somebody what they're excited about to experience at this event is not going to be something that people want to watch, several days after the event, like a week after the event. So it's just kind of like I have to be a little more conscious of that when I'm talking to like voice actors. I feel like I don't know. It's just so hard because you want to ask them the right questions and hopefully maybe have like some stuff prepared. It was hard because I didn't even anticipate being able to talk to them that day. So just was like, hey, would you like to do an interview? And then we just wing it. We just wing it. So that was, yeah. And then maybe next time we're there, I won't feel so. I'll feel a little more comfortable with talking to them because I was just kind of like, just really excited to be there and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like that's just me being transparent about that stuff. On this side of things, when you're doing, because like I love media, games media, video games media is my goal. Like I love Final Fantasy, obviously, but I've always wanted to be in the games media industry. Like IGN, GameSpot, Kind of Funny, that kind of stuff. Kind of Funny is technically a content creator, but anyways, I just want to be in video games media, right? So that's stuff that it was a learning experience. Let's see. Not getting as much content as I hoped. That was one frustrating thing. Like I really wanted to get as much content as possible, but I don't have an editor. So I got a lot of content, but no editor to put this content together and get it out to you guys. So that was maybe next time have somebody dedicated to editing. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Any questions at all about the experience here? Any questions about, I don't know, whatever, Final Fantasy 16 demo coming out in just what is it now, man? Is it like 6 or 5 days? Is it 5 days? 6 days? Ah, man. So that's cool. I see that they're going to be, they did the Rainmaker for Final Fantasy 16 codes. I was really hoping to get a Final Fantasy 16 early review code, and I am in talks to do that, but you know, you saw that it just went up. So 5 days to get a review out is going to be extremely challenging if I was even able to have that review in hand. So less than a week is going to be very, very challenging. I don't know. So I don't know if I'll be able to get a review out for you guys by embargo, but I think we might do, that's if I get one. I'm not even saying, because trust me, if I had one right now, I wouldn't be on the live stream. But yeah, so like, it's going to be very, very difficult to get a review out in a timely manner. So instead of putting together an extremely well-edited video like I was hoping to do since the beginning, I'm going to probably do a podcast and talk about it. Maybe like a more of a sit-down discussion review, kind of like a kind of funny review where they talk about the game rather than put together a really well-edited video. But who knows? I really enjoy doing that as well, so I might. But it might be a little late because there's no way I'm beating a 40-hour story, 70-hour if you want to get everything, and then replay the game on the harder difficulties. There's no way I'm getting a review out. Let's see. Are you hoping we get Final Fantasy 16 DLC? Drumjod says. You know, I'm a big fan of supporting the game after launch because I want 16 to continue to be fresh on people's minds, especially coming around November when the Game Awards are coming up. So I would really like to see some DLC. I would like to see if the DLC was more of like a Arete Stone DLC. So like throw in a super boss. Like, even if it was just, like, supporting the game with these crazy-ass super boss fights, that would be amazing. That's the DLC I would like to see. When it comes to story DLC, I don't think we're going to get story DLC, because they have talked several times about this being a complete package. Like, this is the entire story in one game. You don't need any other content to enjoy the story fully. So I think it'll have a beginning and an end, and I don't think there will be a need for DLC afterwards, unless the DLC is to kind of flesh out something else. Like maybe we go explore a different side of the world that we weren't able to before, or open up different areas that weren't able to. But that would have to be something along the lines, like the content would have to actually matter to people. I mean, it would matter to us, but I don't know. I like the Arete Stone challenge. I think that would be cool. Maybe even fighting the icon. Like, well, I don't know. Like in the Arete Stone, maybe put us like do a Final Fantasy VII remake thing where they put Bahamut and Ifrit. give us two icons to fight at the same exact time. As Clive. That would be cool. But it like in the Arete. So it's outside of the story. It's in its own little thing. It's not story related. It's just a cool challenge. I would love that. After most people, Skytron says, after most people have finished 16, Final Fantasy 14 will experience another wave of hype. Mark my words. I will tell you right now, Skytron, we didn't meet the goal. We didn't meet the goal on the goal bar, but I am considering going back and playing Final Fantasy XIV to finish out Endwalker. I feel like I owe that to myself. I owe that to myself. I've gotten that far. I need to see it through. So I probably will go back to Endwalker and start that up, finish it. Maybe stream it. I don't know. It depends on the demand. If people are like, dude, you have to stream that game, then I might. I'm in the... What server am I? Ah, man, I don't know what server I am. But yeah, like, it would be cool to, if anybody wanted to jump in and help out, or just, like, show me the ropes with the raids and stuff, that'd be cool. Because there's so much content in 14 that I haven't gotten a hold of. So the MMO aspect of the story is really not clicking with me. Like, it never vibed with me. I never liked the pacing of it. but there's so much other content like the PvP. Like I think the PvP would be a lot of fun. So I do want to jump into that. I want to jump into the raids, like the big raids and everything. So yeah, I might jump into that wave. I might surf that wave of hype. You know what I mean? Surf that wave of hype. Do, 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 do. Oh man, thank you, Skytron. I try not to be too hard on myself, man. That's how it is, man. I'm the warrior of hype, but I tell you, I'm the warrior of hype when I'm feeding on the energy, right? But when I'm by myself, I'm just like everybody else, man. I get in my own head. I get in my own head sometimes, so I try not to. Let's see. What else you guys got for me? A boss rush mode, yeah. A horde mode. Oh, surviving waves of enemies. That would be fun. Did they say they were going to do that or no? Like, I can't remember what they said. They said they were going to do something that like restricts you to one iconic ability and then just see how long you can go. I can't remember, but it's almost like a boss rush mode or like a horde mode. Glad I'm not the only one who wasn't entirely feeling the pacing. Yeah. 14 was really, really hard for me, Drumjod. I mean, I respect that game so much. I respect it so much. I love the story when the story's happening, but it was so hard to get to the next story beat. I'm like, I just want to experience the story because it's so well written. It really is so well written. That's why I'm so excited about 16, right? Because you'll get that story on a white knuckle roller coaster of pacing, and that's what I want. That's what makes me excited. Imagine if Heaven's Word was a white knuckle roller coaster rather than an MMO. That's all I'm saying, dude. Heaven's Word would be one of the best Final Fantasies of all time for me. Shadowbringers would be one of the best Final Fantasies of all time for me if it was on a white knuckle roller coaster, but it wasn't. I'd love it. I'd love it so much if they like, hey, we're doing Final Fantasy 14 single player mode. You know what I mean? Like, or I know it can be played in single player mode, but I'm like, if it was doing story mode, right? Final Fantasy 14 and just gives us this like full-fledged Final Fantasy, that would be insane. I would love that. Oh yeah, bringing in new fans to the series, Drumjod. I agree, man. I think 16 is going to be a moment. It's going to be a moment. We're on the precipice of a moment right now. Is what I'm trying to say. Like freaking Final Fantasy 16. It's going to do like, and I wasn't there for. I mean, I wasn't like. There was no social media. There was no internet at the time of Final Fantasy 7. The only thing that I was able to do is maybe like speak to somebody who was there at the time. Like, what was the conversation? What was the buzz when Final Fantasy VII was on its way out? You know, about to come out. And I went back and I read old magazines about previews with Final Fantasy VII, and you could just sense that it was something revolutionary, right? And I'm starting to get that with 16. I know it took all the way up until about June to get there. I mean, for a lot of people, for me, I've been on this freaking train for a long time since, you know, I don't know, 3 years since it was announced. I've been on this train. I knew it was going to be great, but to see so many people start to like ask questions, what is Final Fantasy? What what is this game? Like, it's 16. I need to get into this game. This is amazing. I mean, gamers are an intelligent group of people. I say I don't think they need everything spelled out for them, but like them asking questions, finding out that 16 is like, oh, okay, it's a standalone hit. I don't need to play the rest of the 15 games. I can just jump in, and like they're learning about that. Everybody has to learn at some point, so never bash somebody for asking that question. Everybody learns it at some point, and then now they've learned. Oh, Final Fantasy 16 standalone. Okay, I'm just gonna jump in with 16. And then after they're done playing 16, they go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna play 15 now. I'm gonna go back and play 7 remake." You know what I mean? I think it really is going to bring in a whole new group of people, and I think Remake is actually going to benefit. I think Remake is going to benefit. 16 is going to bring in new people that were like, I ain't worried about a remake of Final Fantasies. It's not my thing. And then they're going to discover 16, go back and try Remake, since that's the other hotness going on. And I think Remake can only benefit. So yeah. And the scenario, see, like I turned the tables. A lot of people thought Rebirth and that hype was going to benefit 16. I think 16's benefiting. It's a give and take, baby. Yeah. So let's see. What we got? No, you can go 100%. You can't go at 100%. Yeah. You're talking about, okay, Skytron. Yeah, like, and I totally respect that about the MMO aspect of Final Fantasy 14. I was talking to Crane and I just, and Tigris. I was talking to Tigris as well, and I got that, right. They're big fans of MMO, and that's. I went into this game into Final Fantasy 14 knowing what I was getting into, so I wasn't like hypercritical of it. I knew that this was going to be a really hard thing for me to get into. And it turned out it was. So that's why I never really talked about it, because it wasn't my place, right? Like, it's like this is an MMO. I knew what I was getting into. So I respect that about 14, and like the slower moments are what highlights the greater moments. I respect that. It was just, for me, it was just really hard to get to those moments. Got here late. Did you get a chance to try Ever Crisis? No way, bro. Thank you so much for being here. No way. Actually, first person to ask me about Ever Crisis. Yeah, I did get to try Ever Crisis. So I got my hands on the game. The person who helped me, super nice person, man. She answered all of my questions. I wish I would have gotten the names. I wish I was better with names. But yeah, like, she was really, really nice and helpful. I asked a lot of different questions. I can give you my hands-on impressions of Ever Crisis. I'll probably make a video about it, but yeah, I don't even have my notes. I'll probably make a video about it because I do want to show them that I made content on it. But yeah, like, in short, I asked the person a lot of questions, and I don't know if, like, you were supposed to, but I kind of, got down. I was like, so what's the content rollout of this game? And she was like, well, it's going to go into beta, and once it's out of beta, Final Fantasy VII, the original game, will be at launch. I thought the entirety of Final Fantasy VII at launch of Ever Crisis was something that I thought was really cool. I was like, whoa, okay, cool. I said, what about Advent Children? That's it's a film. How's that going to translate? It seems like you're doing the same style of gameplay for everything in the compilation. What about Advent Children? How's that going to work? And she was like, actually, I don't know, but that would be really cool to do some of those fights. And I was like, I know, right? So there was no answer for that one. There's a lot of, like, answers that were not answers, which is understandable. But, like, I did ask them directly, what's the monetization of this game? You know what I mean? Are we talking First Soldier? Are we talking about where we get, a 0.2% chance of getting the things we actually want? Or are we doing it by them individually? Something that I thought was really important to ask. No answer on that as well. So there was, like, a lot of answers that were not answers. But yeah, like, there was a lot of other things I asked. The gameplay itself, when it came to the gameplay itself, I'm still not sold. I'll be completely honest with you guys. So the first thing I noticed that was surprising was that you don't get to control the attacks. So when you start the game or start into a battle, Cloud was automatically striking. They were automatically kind of going back and forth with the strikes, and I wasn't even touching anything. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just waiting for my ATB to load up and then do a move that I want to do. Very much like, it gave me like Final Fantasy 13 vibes, where you just wait for your ATB to load up and then you just you input your command. And they were just kind of attacking on their own. So that was kind of weird. It felt very mobile in a way. And maybe it will be exciting when you get into the more tougher fights where you just like you feel like you're on edge with building up like Dissidia Opry Omnia style a little bit as well. Yeah, I mean, it was a mobile game. I think that was the thing that really like I was like, right, right. It's mobile game. I get it. It's made to be bite sized. It's made to be, take this on the go, play a little bit, and turn it off. But the exploration was cool to see the recreated zone areas with this like chibi art style. I did like that. It's what we've seen in the trailers and stuff. And the battles becoming like remake style was really cool. Oh, another thing when you have a party in Ever Crisis, didn't like it. To be honest with you, so Barrett was in my party, but I could not control Barrett's moves. So Barrett will show up in above Cloud's name or whoever's the party leader, show up above them, and you can only execute a limit break with them. You cannot tell them what to do. You can't swap over to them. It's just one person. And I was like, oh no, okay. So it's just kind of wrapping my head around what the game was. And I think if I had more time with the game, I would be able to give a better hands-on impression with that stuff. But like, that's my general thoughts of it. And I really do want to kind of compile my thoughts in a much better hands-on impression video for you guys. Especially after 16 is out, I'll be able to focus on 7 a lot more. But yeah, like just kind of the battle was very mobile, I would say. It was very much a mobile game. Yeah, the monetization was the number one question I wanted to ask. I was like, if I want that super amazing Aerith outfit, is it going to be something that I'm going to have to just hope that I get, roll the dice and just hope, or is it going to be something I can just buy? And will it be a reasonable price? Those are things that concern me, and I'm not a mobile gamer, so maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm not the audience, right? But I am a Final Fantasy VII fanatic. I love Final Fantasy, so I imagine people who love Final Fantasy VII are not mobile gamers are going to play this game and then maybe go, what the heck? Like if that is the case, like just much like First Soldier, where like mobile gamers. A lot of non-mobile gamers started to play First Soldier because it's Final Fantasy VII and it's a battle royale. But then you get hit with this like these microtransactions and the monetization, the predatory monetization. To be completely honest with you, when it comes to First Soldier, that was very, very disappointing. So it will definitely come down to that for Ever Crisis for me. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's not going to be the be-all, end-all, because Ever Crisis is coming complete with Final Fantasy VII Original in its entirety, and that alone is enough to download the game if you have no intention on buying a single thing. That alone is worth it to me. I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, it looks like they've already kind of got started on Crisis Core and then the Sephiroth prequel story. So yeah, I mean, like it's going to be interesting, and that's all going to be free updates, right? The only thing that they're charging monetization for are cosmetics. So that was one thing that they made sure that they pointed out to me, was that the cosmetics are going to be the only thing that is going to be monetized. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was my impressions on Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. I guess that's really all there is to it. Then I was pulled away because I had the option to play Final Fantasy 16 behind closed doors, and I was like, I'll be right back. I gotta go, and then I never came back because I was playing 16 all night. Yeah, it is just cosmetics. She was very, very clear about that, so I do like that. First Soldier was also just cosmetics, so Like, if you're going to give me such an incredible outfit that I will never be able to get my hands on because it's in a 0.02% chance roll, I mean, that's not exciting to me at all. Like, I'm not a gacha gamer. So I may not be the target audience. Just keep that in mind. It's just not for me. I do not like the fact that in Crisis Core there was like a Genova outfit. But if you wanted that Genova outfit, you had to buy the battle pass and play that game for hundreds of hours just to get. I mean, like, that was a lot to ask somebody to get to that battle pass. I personally would have loved to seen that battle pass kind of transfer over. Like, hey, you bought the battle pass, you're still working towards it. You know what I mean? It's not just ended and you if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. I would have loved to see those things become available later on, or whatever. But I hope that First Soldier was a learning experience about how to do this stuff, respectfully and properly. That maybe they go ahead and they learn from that. But it is a completely different team working on it as well, right? I mean, like, Square-Enix is the, behind it, but they have development teams working on it. So, let's see. Just put it out on the Switch or something. Yeah. Are we talking about either one, really? Either one. I don't care what we're talking about. First Soldier or Ever Crisis. That game, it's a mobile game. You'll get the feeling of it when you actually start to get to play it. You will understand, like, oh, this is very much a mobile game. But I'd still really love to play it on Switch or Steam Deck. Give me, like, even shoot, I'd love to play it on my my PlayStation and Xbox. I just want to. Mobile games are interesting that they're trying to tap into that market, but everybody wants it to be on, like, make it more available to everybody. To people who love console. Because it is available to everybody. Everybody has a phone. I would just recommend downloading the game when it comes out. Because it's free, and it comes with the entirety of Final Fantasy VII. That sold me right. I mean, and that's the funny. I even told that person, I was like, I'm sold. And then wait a second, it's free. I don't need to. I'm not buying anything. I'm just gonna play it. So yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I think the beta will not come with the entire game though. The beta comes out next month, so just keep that in mind. The beta may not come with all of Final Fantasy VII, but when it goes out of beta, it will. Let's see. Yeah, man, I do. I just want to be open and honest with you guys. That's very important to me, and, like, especially with 16. Thank you, No Way. When it comes to Final Fantasy 16, I do my review. I'm going to be open and honest about that as well. But I don't see myself not liking that game. So I'm just taking questions right now. So if you guys, if you have any questions, I will definitely get to them. So I'll give it a try for sure. Is it subscription based? Not from what that's a really good question, MCP. I should have asked that. I don't think so. I don't think it's not subscription based because you can download it and play it for free, and you can do all that. I don't know if it's going to have like a battle pass or whatever Shinra pass. That is something I have to look into a little bit more. But it's not subscription based because it's free. You can download it and play and enjoy it. I surprisingly did enjoy Final Fantasy's Record Keeper. Yep, Record Keeper was cool. I love Dissidia Opera Omnia. The weapons won't be monetized. If it is, it will be cosmetic weapons. From what I got from the person I talked to. She could play pretty far without having to pay anything. Wait, are we talking about Skytron? Are we talking about Ever Crisis? You say it is subscription based, but you can play pretty far without having to pay anything without a time restriction up to level 60. Oh wait, haha, haha, haha. That's Final Fantasy 14. Okay, my bad. My bad. If it's just cosmetics, that's better. Yes. Hey, 7 Deadly Streamers, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. If you have any questions about Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch event, LA, anything like that, Summer Game Fest, fire them away. I'm gonna do my best to answer them. Anybody watching right now, give me some questions. I think Both games could do much better on console PC. I agree. I signed up for Ever Crisis. Awesome. Man, I enjoyed First Soldier as well. Seven Deadly Streamers. I really like. You know, I was thinking about it the other day. I saw it's still on my phone, and I'm just like, I miss that. I miss you. I miss you. Kind of want to play it. What could have been, right, guys? What could have been if they just wouldn't given us a 0.2% chance of getting things that we want? Do you think Vincent or Red 13? Wait, do you think Vincent will be Red 13 in Rebirth? Great question, Block Sheep. Great question. Because I do think he will be. Ah, man. That might not be what everybody wants to hear. I kind of do, in a way. Actually, I kind of think, I almost want to say Sid, but that, I don't know. I mean, they're giving us Red 13. They're giving us Yuffie, which we've played as Yuffie, but we haven't played as a party with Yuffie. So those are kind of our new characters. Sid does come in at Rocket Town, and if I'm saying that I really do think the game is going to end at the Icicle Inn, I mean, right after Rocket Town, I guess there is a good amount of story. So I'll say Sid will be in there. But they're giving us Kate Sith, Cat She. They're giving us Cat She as well. I don't know if they want to overload the player with new characters, right? I look at... That's a good question. Let me tell you my thought process. I'll tell you my thought process. With Vincent, I really do think Vincent is going to get his own game. Like in an intermission. Just like Yuffie got an intermission. And I think that Vincent will be... the whole purpose of intermission will have Vincent as the main character to kind of tie up loose ends with Deep Ground. Funny enough, Crane and I were having this conversation. I'm on the side of things where I do believe that Remake Trilogy is trying to sum up the entire compilation into one package, and by the end of Part 3, we get a definitive conclusion, and nothing else happens after that. Like, including Advent Children, including Dirge of Cerberus. I think at the end of Part 3, it's going to be a definitive ending. So in order to do that, we introduced Deep Ground with Yuffie in the intermission DLC, and now Vincent is going to tie it up in the intermission DLC between Part 2 and Part 3, between Rebirth and Part 3. And I think that is just kind of poetic in a way, because Yuffie was an optional character, Vincent was an optional character, and they both have ties to Deep Ground through Dirge of Cerberus, and I just kind of think they'll introduce Vincent through an intermission. That's my opinion. And yeah, so will he be Red 13? Like by that meaning he's not playable. He's AI controlled. I would almost. I don't know. I'm not saying he won't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it won't happen. I just think that's where I think we're going with it. I mean, just think about it. You got Ketchy, you've got Vincent, you got Sid. 3 brand new characters to introduce into Yuffie and Red 13, which are going to be brand new characters to play as a party. That's a lot of new characters to play in Rebirth, and you're not saving anything for Part 3. That's my thought process on it. But I could be wrong, and I hope I am. I mean, I look at the logo of Rebirth, and I see red, and I'm like, well, if you want to tie in with the theme, I mean, Vincent. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Somebody's gonna get Red 13, man. Let's see. More questions. Random, but I mean, yeah, exactly. Official Crane for Crane is in the house. Who were your favorite people to hang out listening to airplanes land on your trip? I've already brought that up, Crane. I've already talked about it, man. I was excited to tell that story about how you actually hit us up and wanted to hang out with us, and even though we had a flight to catch in the morning, we were just like, we can't pass this opportunity up. And I told everybody, I said, you know, one of my favorite, me and Vinny, like we talked about it on the way home. It's like, wow, that was hanging out with Crane and Tigers was really cool. It was like hanging out with friends, and that was basically how we described it on the way home. Like we were still talking about it. It's like, man, that was really cool hanging out with those people. So with those guys. So thank you so much for hitting us up, Crane. Let's see, Block Sheet. Would you think they're going to hold somebody back? Yeah, that was basically what I was getting at. I kind of feel like a character is going to be held back like Red 13, where it's maybe an AI controlled, and save one or two characters for Rebirth, or for Part 3. I don't know. Like I said, throwing a lot at us, so maybe they would want to... Because you still have Cloud, Barrett, Aerith, Tifa. You still have those characters that mess around, and I don't know. Yeah, and it would be really cool if they save Sid. If they save Sid as an AI-controlled character, because then you would get to play as Sid when Cloud is in a coma, if he still goes into the coma in Part 3, right? Sid would be kind of the main character for a little while. I don't know. So let's see. Are you streaming the Final Fantasy 16 demo, Dark Lord Present? Dark Lord. I had thought about streaming the Final Fantasy 16 demo. I didn't... I always get this like weird feeling that nobody would be interested in watching me play. I gotta stop doing that. But here I am talking to you guys, and you guys are interested in me just talking. So I really appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate you. I might stream the 16 demo. I've already gotten my, like, you know, I've already seen it, so it's not like my first impressions or anything on it. I may stream a replay of Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy to me is a very personal experience. So I'm kind of like, I kind of want to enjoy that in a dark room, you know, just by myself, and really allow myself to feel. So I don't know. I had really thought about, do I stream 16? Do I not stream 16? But I don't know. It's a very personal experience for me. So let's see. How amazing would it be if they showed Spira from Final Fantasy X in the observatory as an Easter egg? I was looking for it, Skytron. I was. That's funny. I was like looking at each planet, like, I know Supernova goes through all these. I see the ringed planet that looks like Saturn and all that other stuff. And I was like, but is there a Final Fantasy X reference? But of course, that could be a different dimension. You know what I mean? I subscribe to the theory, though, Skytron. I wrote an entire script about it. I've got a lot to say when it comes to Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII being connected. What do you think Yuffie saw that freaked her out? Do you think the purple smoke reminded her of Nero? Ooh. Or did she see Cloud? Or she steal Cloud's materia? Yeah, what a moment to steal his materia. Oh no! Okay, you deal with that creepy thing. I'm just getting out of here. I think that's a great observation, MCP. I didn't think about the purple smoke like bringing back memories of Nero. That's cool. I like that, MCP. No, I just think she was. I mean, she just kind of fits her character, right? I mean, she was already cargo on the cargo ship. She gets boat sick, right? So she's already kind of feeling that, and it just seems like her character to kind of like, get her away from me. And also, they probably needed a reason just to have 3 people in the party rather than, you know, hey, let's get Yuffie out of there so we can just have 3 people in this party. Which I feel like they're going to have to do a lot in the game. A story explanation of why you only have a party of 3. Although I did notice Aerith and Tifa standing in the distance there when we're battling with 3, and they weren't in the party. I pointed that out in the breakdown video. I'm very, very, very curious of how they handle that. Are we swapping characters like in Final Fantasy X? What's going on? Very curious. What did you do? Yeah, Crane, man. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. Mikio told me that John Eric Bentley has seen the Floor 67 project and loved it. Oh, cool. Awesome, awesome. Anytime, always fun to hang out here, Drumjod. Thank you very much. Moogle Mastery says, were you able to nab the collector's edition of Final Fantasy 16? No. No, I wasn't, and it pains me. It pains me deeply. I had to get the LA trip. The LA trip really that put a that put a hurting on me. That put a hurting on me. So I just didn't have it in me or my bank to get that collector's edition. I really wanted it, man, and it sucks that I have to miss out. But I got these incredible experiences in LA, so yeah, I mean, so priorities. I respect that. Yeah, thank you. No way. It does pain me though that I'm not gonna have that amazing statue. Let's see. Oh, Moogle Mastery, do an unboxing video. Yes, that's awesome. Definitely do that. I would have definitely planned on an unboxing video as well if I would have gotten one. I want to make unboxing videos. I do. I might just kind of start doing them for no reason at all. That's the thing about Final Fan TV. We got no general direction of things you can expect from us. Just hype. That's all you expect from Final Fan TV. Just expect hype. If anything I can do that's hype and it's Final Fantasy related, I want to bring that to you. They might actually, if the rumors are true about 10, yeah, the collector's edition sell out. No, I don't know. I think it went back on sale for a little while. The collector's edition, it might be available. Good, but I hope they don't rush the potential. Yeah, 10 remake would be incredible, or outsource it. Better finish the 7 remake trilogy first. I think I read something that, was it Katase? Or was it Kazushige Nojima that wanted to do a Final Fantasy X after remake? Somebody wanted to do 10. Somebody said 10.3 script was done. Let me tell you what, if there was anything that needed whispers, I would love it if 10.2 had some whispers. Get that out of here, man. I'm sorry. I love 10 with all of my heart. 10.2, not so much. I wish we could just, I don't know. But what I would love out of the 10.3, here's why I think a 10.3 would be incredible. You give us, because Final Fantasy X was about, like, the sins of our father, right? The burdens that the kid carries, the child carries because of the father and all this other stuff. You put Titus in the father role in Final Fantasy X-3. I'm just saying, man. It's been long enough. You give us a grizzled, older Titus and Yuna as a father and a mother, and them wrestling with them, like, with being parents. We all know that Waka and Lulu have a kid, so maybe the party is the children, kind of like a Final Fantasy IV type thing, where the party, the children are kind of the new party members. I don't know, man. I think that would just be so cool, giving us an older, grizzled Tidus and Yuna, and them trying to be parents. That would be super cool, especially with their legacy of their parents. Really cool. I like the idea. I like the idea of that. I think it would be super cool. But go back to a much more serious tone. If they're gonna do a Final Fantasy X-3, go back to a Final Fantasy X tone. I do not want Final Fantasy X-2's tone. Not at all. Like, if they're gonna do Final Fantasy X-2 type, like, joking and it's just a joke, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. So yeah, I think it could be either incredible or it could be like, what? So yeah. Lulu. Love me some Lulu. Okay, I was more of a Yuna guy. You know, I like the sweet girls. That's just me. Just me. I like sweet. I was more of a Yuna kind of kid. You know, growing up. Let's see. Completely redo. Yeah, start fresh. Final Fantasy X remake. I like it. Moogle Mastery knows what's up. You know what's up. All right. So, wasn't feeling. See, like not very many people was feeling the 10-2. You know, like listen. I agree. Girl power stuff was awesome, right? It's just got to be done right. I thought it was almost like I don't know, it just wasn't done right. Yuna was what is actually probably my favorite character in Final Fantasy X. I think she had such a weight to her. Like her character, I could do a whole entire podcast about Yuna, man. Like her character goes through some really really hard like hardships, and she's got this burden that she has to carry with her. I love Yuna and 10. I and I get where they were kind of going with it with 10 too. It's where like after you experience a tragedy, you know, people handle that loss in different ways, and like um, just I don't know. I thought it kind of just completely uh, negated Final Fantasy X. Like, especially if you play Final Fantasy X all the way through, and then you jump right into 10-2, you're just like, come on. Like 10 ends with this heart wrenching, deep, dramatic, just a great moment, and then 10-2 opens up with, you know, like I was like, okay, all right, hold on now. Some banger tracks, yeah. Yep. A lot of people really like 10-2's gameplay. I preferred the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I prefer the turn-based. Okay. Somehow, someone thought Tomb Raider-style Yuna would be a great idea. I remember seeing Yuna with guns. That was interesting. So yeah, I mean, like a 10-3 would be really cool. Man, I love hanging out with you guys, man. I've been talking to you guys for like 2 hours. I was planning on just going live for about an hour. Um, I kind of have this place to myself right now, and I'm just like, I was bored out of my mind, you know. It's like, what can I do? So this is really cool, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, keep them coming. What style of combat do you prefer? Remake or 16? Ooh, ooh, no way, no way. Whew. Asking a hard question here, man. Remake has the best combat system of all time. I mean, Remake has the best combat system of all time. Oof. But then again, I haven't played all of 16, so maybe when we get to the later parts of 16, I might be like, ooh, this is way too much fun. But I'll tell you right now, with Remake, I would turn that game... I've done every single possible thing you could do in Remake. There's nothing left for me to do in Remake. I've explored every corner of the map. I've literally made videos where I just broke the camera and looked around. Everything you can do in Remake, and I would still turn that game on just to get into a battle. Like, I don't care what battle it is. I just want to get into a battle because I love that combat so much. So yeah, it's got to be Remake for me, man. I can see how 16 I'll start to... But then again, this is just the demo. And there's a plethora of iconic abilities I haven't discovered yet. But I can see I'm going to, like, kind of fall into this rhythm, right, that fits for me. Maybe I won't. But with Remake, it was just... I loved it. It always felt great to be in battle. I think if Final Fantasy 17... I would love to see Final Fantasy 17 spearheaded by CPU 3 again, so that way they can just iterate upon what they created with 16 and just keep the ball rolling. I think that is the most important thing. They have momentum right now, and just keep that momentum going. After 15, I understand that 15 was kind of divisive in a way. Like, for me, I freaking love it. 15 is one of my favorite video games of all time. Top 3, Final Fantasy. But I get where it was, like, divisive, right? 16 seems to be on this roll of, like, moving the franchise. This is the direction the franchise is going. Keep the ball rolling. Let's get a 17 out within 5 years. That's like, just iterate upon, like we used to do back in the PS1 era. You just iterate upon it, evolve it a little bit, but keep it. You got the same formula. It's working for you. Let's keep moving. I want to see that 17 kind of a quick turnaround. And if not, I mean, because we have Rebirth kind of continuing on with the remake style battle system, and then of course, Part 3 is going to have that battle system, so they got that covered. But I would love to see the future of the franchise kind of marry the two. I mean, either that or remake is just perfect in the way it is. So just continue that, or continue with the 16 style. But either way, let's get the next one out. Yeah, I mean, I love both of them, man. I love both of them. Final Fantasy IX was the last love letter of the OG Final Fantasy games, so it's fitting if it is remade to be turn-based, in my opinion. Oh, we're talking about remakes of Final Fantasy. Well, I mean, the strongest rumor right now is Final Fantasy IX, right? Like, that is so strongly rumored, and from the NVIDIA leak, and just being a strong rumor that it is happening, it's on its way. I would have to say, yeah, I guess 9 is coming. For me, it's weird what they're doing, like jumping around like that. 7 remake, 9 remake, now a rumored 10 remake. Yeah, so they kind of skipped 8, I love 8. If any Final Fantasy would have benefited from the style that remake is going, like, to kind of change the story up a little bit, or change the story and all that stuff, I would have loved the 8 to do that. I guess because I'm not as attached to that story, but I think it would have fit really well, especially with time compression and all that other stuff that 8 has going on. I think that could be an amazing remake. And Squall is such a beloved Final Fantasy character. So for me, if you asked me what Final Fantasy needs the remake, I say Final Fantasy VI. I think Final Fantasy VI needs that remake, and not just a pixel rematch, like not an HD 2D, but like give Final Fantasy VI the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment. Give it the full, but don't change the story at all. Like, give us, because a lot of people don't experience that story just because it's such a retro game, and that story needs to be experienced by as many people as possible. So I would love Final Fantasy VI to get remade. HD 2D remasters are cool and everything, like, but I would rather see it remade. Let's see. Block Sheep agrees, and so does MCP. Yeah, man, 6 definitely needs it. Wait, what now? I hope if Final Fantasy IX is being remade, they use the official artwork of Vivi. If you haven't seen it, it looks badass. I don't think I have. Are we talking about like official artwork from back in the day? Like where he's like got the fire going on. It's like from top down looking at him. Or are we talking about like something new that I'm missing? The Memorial Project is doing a fantastic job of that as well. I think they've done such a fantastic job of matching the style of it as well. Like building the remake in Unreal Engine, using that kind of fantasy structures where it's like the wooden platform like is bowing a little bit, and like it's not perfectly straight lines, it's all like kind of curvy and stuff. Yeah, the old school style art, yes. Man, can you imagine that game remade? I think it would just be, I mean, like, we don't have to imagine it because Memoria Project has done a great job of showing us what that could be. what that could be like. I think every Final Fantasy needs to be like, just give people need to experience these stories, and they're missing out. They're missing out because it's Final Fantasy VI. It's a retro game. People they don't want to go back and do that. It's turn based. People don't want to do that. I think they need to be remade, man. Although if Final Fantasy X gets remade, I don't know. I would like to see Final Fantasy X be turn based. In a way, in a weird way. Final Fantasy X has such a cool battle system. I love it. Very strategic. And I imagine that would be an easier remake to put out. Another thing would be a fantastic thing, I gotta throw this out there, if Final Fantasy 13 got a remakester. In the same like vein as of Crisis Core Reunion. I think that would be cool. Let's see. I was amazed at how they surpassed Remakes combat with intermission. Hyped to see how they evolve it further. That's awesome that you really like that, Drumjod. For me, I liked Remakes combat better than intermission. Because you were able to swap between characters. You know, like with Yuffie, you weren't able to swap over to Sonnen. You got to synergize with them, but I like the swapping a lot. So Remakes combat was better for me. 6 nailed it with remake. Yes. Don't think 10 needs a remake. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Block Sheep. I mean, 10 is a fantastic game, man. Like, only reason why I would want to see it remake is just to see it look beautiful. But I don't know. And they might be able to expand the world a little bit where it's not so linear, because that is the most linear Final Fantasy, more linear than 13. 13 gets a bad rep, but 10 is more linear than 13. But yeah. I'd be happy with an 8 remake too. It's not one of my favorites. I think they could fix some things. Yeah, me too. I think they could fix some original issues there. I think 6 remake is rather unlikely because it's the last game that was done before they split Squaresoft into different teams. Could be wrong though. Yeah, so Final Fantasy X was a Squaresoft game as well. Final Fantasy X was a Squaresoft game. Yeah, so Final Fantasy X was Squaresoft, but Final Fantasy, yeah. So 6 was the last. No, 6 was Sakaguchi's like favorite Final Fantasy. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. That was that was the last game they split from Nintendo. That was the last one they split from Nintendo. They separated from Nintendo there. So it was a big moment, right? With a 6 remake, I would want Mistwalker involved. I would want Sakaguchi on the team. And I don't know if he would be interested in doing that, but I mean, he sure does love 6. I don't know if he would want a chance to revisit. He's not really, that's not his thing, to revisit the worlds he's already done. So 13 was decent. It's just so effing long. Yeah, MCP, I got you. I feel you, man. It was definitely a pacing issue with 13, but the story concept was super good. I really like the world they built with 13. They just they could execute it a little bit better. The lack of character swapping was a downside. The new aerial moves, yeah. See, like they fixed the aerials and stuff like that with intermission. So like the solo combat was fun. Now you combine that with remake and you bring that into it, the more fluidity of aerial combat. You bring in the synergy, which we have team up attacks and things like that. Anybody have any idea of what those 5 blue bars are? I asked that in my video. The 5 blue bars underneath of the ATB bar. Have no idea. I feel like it's tied to team attacks though. Let's see. They fixed the aerial Yep. Was it able to switch to Sonon? Yeah, not being able to switch to Sonon. I didn't like that too much. That's why I don't think synergy is going to be in Remake. I think you're going to be able to do these team ups and stuff, but not synergize with them, like fight back to back with them. I think they're just going to kind of fight with you. To be honest with you, I will be honest with you. Like, Intermissions combat didn't click with me as much as Remakes clicked with me. So yeah, that is interesting. They split Squaresoft into different teams after. Oh, I'm sorry, Skytron. For some reason I thought you meant like after Squaresoft split and then like became Square-Enix. I'm sorry. You're right. Skytron knows what he's talking about. The icon Skytron. I love introducing you as that. Sakiguchi said Final Fantasy in an interview Final Fantasy 9 was his favorite. Yes. So 6 was one of his favorite. Final Fantasy 9 is his favorite. Yep. Kefka is definitely up there with Sephiroth in terms of great villains. Yes, he is. Man, Final Fantasy 6 would be rated M. Just saying. People got all upset when 16 was rated M. Final Fantasy 6 is a rated M game, guys. Final Fantasy 6 has some very, very serious subject matter and moments and scenes that would be hard to pull off with a teen rating, I'd say. So, I would love to see Final Fantasy 6 rated M, especially if 16 is super successful. Then it would be an excuse to say, yeah, this will work, and really make Kefka terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, he was already terrifying, but man, imagine if he could just go full Joker. I mean, he did go full Joker. It was just pixels. You know what I mean? Imagine if it was modernized. Through Katase, although Katase said 5 is one he'd like to remake. See, there's interest within Square Enix to remake Final Fantasies, and I'm all for it, man. I'm all for experiencing these games in a new light, and these stories need to be retold and experienced for the first time by many, many people who haven't already. Shows that Final Fantasy VII was one team, Final Fantasy IX was another, and Final Fantasy VI was the last Final Fantasy VI where everybody worked on it from Square. Yeah, got you. Now that we're all set, and then we got, I guess that's where like creative business units come in. Yeah, and different teams working on it, which I think actually served to benefit it a lot. You know, you get that like the high fantasy of Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy 16, and then you get the techno cyberpunk fantasies, and I love both of them. I'm a big fan of both of them, and I love that it keeps kind of swapping. Or now I guess the high fantasy is kind of returning. I've been guessing maybe 5 blue bars represents a cost of team attacks. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Because one thing I noticed when I was doing my breakdown videos, every time a team attack was happening on screen, the playable character wouldn't have bars. That's the only thing that I could, like, connect that. Tigress, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I missed out on saying bye to you. I'm just trying to like keep up with the chat, but thank you so much for watching, Tigress. Did you finally get a chance to play through Final Fantasy V? Actually, no. The last time I played through Final Fantasy V, I think I told this story before, but I was back on the anthology with right here. This one. Like, I got this, and this came out in 1998, right? So I had just gotten off of the high of playing Final Fantasy VII. And then, you know, I was like, I need more Final Fantasy. I think I played 8 as well. And I need more Final Fantasy, so I went out and bought this. I started with 5, and I was like, this is not really... I'm not vibing with it because, I was a kid, and I didn't really... I was dumb. But... yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't really vibing with it as much. And then I played through 6. I kind of just mindlessly got through 5, I think. And then 6 was cool, but I never really understood or respected what I was playing. I was like 8, 9 or something at the time. So, yeah, I have gone back and replayed 6 several times since. But 5 is a game that I have not gone back and replayed, and I really, really want to go back and replay it. And the 5 anime, I know that's out there as well. And I do want to. That's like a sequel or something. I know it's out there, but I haven't watched it because I want to play 5 again. If his name isn't Butts in Remake, I'm out. This is what Block Sheep says. Yeah, give me Butts, man. Is his name Butts in this one? Nah, it's Bart's. They fixed it for the anthology. Yeah. Don't have to. Oh, shoot. Okay, we got a storm going on out there. It's a long game. 5 is a long game if you want 100%. Yeah. I just want to mess around. I really wanted to play it before 16, you know? Nice. Yeah, you have it on VHS. That's incredible. I bet that is worth something, to be honest with you. I don't know, maybe it's worth something. Maybe when they do the remake of it, it will definitely be worth something. That's super cool, man. That's super cool. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, like the nostalgia of old things, like looking at this saying, this was this was when 1998. This is a relic of the world. It's a relic, and it's in my hands. That's why physical copies will always be best. I love looking back at them. Yeah. Okay. So let me make sure I kind of said everything I wanted to say about everything, because I mean I wanted to let you guys know. I think we've had a great conversation about Summer Game Fest, and I let you know all that I could. If you have any questions, I am about to wrap this up. So if you have any questions, anything at all, I'm opening the floor to you guys. Anything at all, go ahead and ask me anything, and I will. I'll wrap this up. But thank you guys so much. I see, like, I love it too, Skytron. I love it too, man. That's what I do. I just derail into other conversations. If it's Final Fantasy, man, I will talk about it. If it's video games, I could talk about video games all day long. So this has been one of my favorite chats, to be honest with you guys. Just because it's just really fun to hang out with you guys, and yeah, man, you guys are really cool. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16 in a couple more days, guys. It's almost here. The coolest thing, while you guys, if you have any questions, get them in there. But like while you guys do that, I just reminisce on it, man. Let me reminisce with you guys for just a moment. Final Fan TV originated in 2020. You know what I mean? We originated in 2020. It was October when we started Final Fan TV. We had some amazing guests like John Eric Bentley in our third video on the channel. We go on, and Final Fantasy 16 is announced. So Final Fan TV has been around from announcement and almost release in 6 days. And I think, to me, that is incredible. And when 16 was announced, we spoke with Soldier First Class, who took a break, and now he's back. It feels like we're back, baby. You know, Soldier First Class took a break, and now he's back because 16 is, and he's got his own podcast going on. I spoke with Night Sky Prince about that when the game was first revealed. We talked about what we would want in a rated M game. We talked about just like how cool the 16 in a rated M Final Fantasy and everything. And we just speculated on a bunch of stuff. And now I just spoke with him at the Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch event. It feels like we have taken this journey. Like Final Fantasy 16 has been a journey with Final Fan TV. And I guess that just makes it even more special. That this is the big Final Fantasy release while we've been around. While Final Fan TV's been around. We missed the remake release. We did catch the intermission and stuff like that, but this is the first big mainline Final Fantasy that we're part of. Like, we've been on this journey since announcement to now. So for me, that is just really special. It's really special. We're almost there. And yeah, so and I've been watching since 2020. Man, That really means a lot, Black Sheep. I know a couple of you guys have been around since the beginning. Um, and I almost want to go back into our YouTube subscriber history and just look at all of the OGs. You know what I mean? You guys are awesome. And it's not just the OGs that are like, it's the, you guys right now. Just watching this video, I'm just talking. I got nothing to say. I had no big guest on. You guys do know that means a lot, right? That means a lot. It's very encouraging to keep on going. So I do appreciate this. But yeah, man, like since the beginning, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. All right, so the age-old question since the beginning of story time, since the beginning of storytelling, do you think Clive will survive? Yes. Yes. I think he's going to come very close to dying, but he's going to survive. I think he's going to survive because of two reasons. First reason is that I think the game will start off with him going on a revenge quest, and we all know the saying, when seeking revenge, dig two graves. And I think what we're going to get is him as a pivot at some point in the story. We're going to get a pivot where he realizes there's more to revenge, more to the things going on. And I think it's going to be a very heavy, emotional journey. But I think by the end of it, we're going to be left, and Yoshi P even said that, we're going to be left with this sense of hope that everything's going to be all right. And I think that is, I think it would only serve the story better if he lived. And I mean, not every, I do love me a tragedy, man. And spoilers. I'm just going to say, Final Fantasy 15, with Final Fantasy 15, we've already had it, right? The ending of Final Fantasy 15, Noctis didn't make it. So it wouldn't make sense to have Final Fantasy 16. Clive didn't make it. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It might be a little bit redundant. But I think he's going to get very, very close. And maybe have like a moment where he realizes this is not the moment. Or this is not the right move. And I think his friends are going to be the ones to show him that. Which is awesome. Because that's Final Fantasy to me. That screams Final Fantasy, where he says, I made a promise to my friends. Or I made a promise to my friends. I don't know, I can't do it. Ben Starr's not here. That's Final Fantasy to me, baby. My friends are my power. So yeah, long before the classic Final Fantasy VII Remake camera videos. Thank you, Skytron. Thank you, Skytron. But he will be revived by Phoenix. God dang it, Black Sheep. I know it's a joke. Maybe, though. I mean, listen. We all played the demo. I'm a believer. If you don't see a body, you ain't dead. I didn't see no body. All right. So, I don't know. I want it to be true because I don't want it to be, but I'm good with this. I'm good with it because it's Final Fantasy 16. It's a brand new story. And the fact that Ben Starr told that story about his father and like helping him through loss and everything like that, I believe in this story already. But we are talking about the Phoenix, the power of rebirth. So, although that might mean something different if you watch my Hinduism video. But anyways, so it's just, yeah, I don't know. We're talking about the power of Phoenix, so who's to say who's coming back or not? I think this game is going to have a lot of death in it. It's just, I don't think everybody's going to die and then come back. I think it is going to have some serious death in it. But it might be possible for like Joshua or something to come back. We'll see. We'll see. Yep, I think Clive will survive. If Torgal dies, maybe we'll meet his puppy with a heartfelt moment. That's a good one too. I made a video about Torgal. Like if Torgal dies, I think there's at some point in the story where Clive is a an adult. He doesn't have Torgal with him. Where's Torgal at this moment? That's what my question is. What's he doing? Maybe he's out there mating. You know, maybe he's he found one of his kind. You know, a Red 13 moment running up with his puppies, or maybe the puppies running up there. I think Torgal would be a heart-wrenching death. I think nobody wants this. It could end up being the most heart-wrenching death in all of Final Fantasy. But I don't know. I don't know. That would be very interesting. Let's see. So I think there is going to be a lot of death. I mean, obviously we were getting that Game of Thrones vibes. I think anything goes when you got Game of Thrones vibes. I don't know. Let's see. No Torgal. Moogle Mastery says, listen, don't you do that. Don't you put that evil on me. Block Sheep. So he survives this game is what you ultimately mean. Yeah. I want to know how Clive got that similar tattoo as as the peasant he interacted with holding the fruit. Oh, MCP, that's the mark of the bearer. So within Valisthea, they mark their bearers almost as if they're servants. Like they're almost like they're looked down upon. And you can see that in the demo where Clive doesn't look down upon them. He tells them to stand up and tells them he brushes off the apple and gives it to him and treats them with respect. But the bearers are marked with that face tattoo, and when he's taken as a soldier on the front lines, he's probably given the bearer mark by Annabella, or Annabella, given that mark because he can use the power of the Phoenix, so he can cast magic. So they have to explain that to him, and they probably strip him of his namesake, to be honest, because Sid says, "I've heard rumors that you survived." And then Benedicta was like, "Who are you? You're just a bearer." Or, yeah, you're just a bearer. So I think Annabella strips him of his Rosfeld name, puts him on the front lines as a bearer for the Imperial Army, and that's where we are at when we're experiencing the Titan and Shiva fight. That's just me putting together a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Maybe Clive was really meant to be the Phoenix and will rise from his ashes. Listen, I'm only putting together what I've seen in the trailers, but we do get to play as Phoenix one more time when you're fighting Bahamut. So, I don't know. Because I mean that was a shock to me. I was like, why are we playing as Phoenix right now, fighting Bahamut? That one really blew my mind. So maybe Clive does get to be able to do that. Maybe he has control over both icons of fire, or maybe, like you said, Phoenix is reborn within Clive. So like Joshua is within Clive. That's pretty cool. I like that. Joshua lives on within him. That's cool. Zack is my favorite Final Fantasy protagonist, but Clive has serious potential to rise to the top, says Skytron. Skytron? Man, oh man. That performance in Final Fantasy, or in the demo, that performance in the demo, yeah. Oh man. There's some serious potential here. See, like, here's the thing, right? Final Fantasy VII Remake cast is one of the best casts that I think they nailed it perfectly. I love it, but I want to see them broken. We got to see Barrett and John Bentley did this amazing scene. We got to see that. I mean, I had to look away because I couldn't bear it. That was a dad joke from back in the day. Anyways, I've been talking for 3 hours. That's what's happening now. Anyways, he did that amazing performance, right? And I love that. He was broken. It showed emotion. I think it's really one of the only times that these characters that were able to express themselves in such a deep, raw way. But other than that, man, I got to see these characters broken. I got to see Cloud lose, you know who, right? I got to see it. I got to see that, like, Rebirth is going to tell the story of all the tragedies, all the personal growth of these characters. That is where we're going to see those moments that I'm really going to connect with. You can't, like, it's like Rey from Rise of Skywalker, that whole trilogy. Rey never loses, never gets hurt, never feels emotion, loss. And that's why I want to see that with those characters, because I feel like that cast can do that really well. But thankfully, with the Final Fantasy 16 demo, we're getting to see that right off the bat. We get to see that raw emotion right off the bat, and it instantly connects me to Clive, where I'm like, yeah, Clive could rise up to be one of my favorite protagonists of all time. He's certainly on track to do so. Yeah, so let's see. I got to read about Annabella, man. Let me see, what are we talking about Annabella right now? You know? First of all, Hey and Nobody says, I'm 90% sure Sid will die. It's a very Final Fantasy thing to say of you. I don't know. Maybe. I think so. If any character is, it might be Sid. I think that I'm gonna go with the 90% as well. Hey and Nobody. I kind of almost want to say the same. Also, why Annabella? Why? Annabella, though, man. It's hard to hate her. I'll tell you that. Seeing non-spoiler get murdered in a matter of seconds lets me know anyone can get... Oh, man. You know what, man? Yeah. They're ready to put anybody on the chopping block. I like it. Yeah. Torgal is an easy kill. Ooh. Heya says Torgal is an easy kill. As in, like, you think that's a shoo-in? Like, you think Torgal is going to die? Block Sheep, on the heartstrings. The heartstrings are going to be pulled. Yes, absolutely. Spot on, probably a sure thing. Let's... Wow. Okay, so you guys think it's going to be a sure thing for Torgal, huh? And remember, everyone, the first scene in the game shows the moon and the red star. Oh, yeah, man. Yes. And it has a name. Was it Matea? Matea? The red star has a name. I didn't actually... It was like... It's talking about it's custom to wish upon it in Valisthea. Like, it's a wishing star. So, it's very important, the moon and the red star. If that ain't Final Fantasy, come on, guys. Come on, man. This game has Final Fantasy all over it. And also, pay attention when you play the demo. The moon is framed in so many camera shots, especially when you're dealing with the icons. Pay attention. Like, most of the time when it's an icon or a dominant, that moon is framed in so many shots, and it is on purpose. Something that I've always I was pointing out, that it almost feels like a watching eye, like it's keeping an eye on you. That could be the god that has ordained this fate. So yeah, the moon is... I don't know if we're going to the moon. I think we're gonna get some. I think we're gonna get some fallen tech that takes us to the moon. 1 second, please. All right. I think we'll probably get some fallen tech that takes us to the moon. Or maybe that's where the final battle is. Whatever. That red star is coming down, baby. That red star is not gonna be happy when they start destroying some mother crystals, is what I'm saying. Let's see. And remember, everyone. Yep. Oh, and that's a good point. I completely forgot we saw Phoenix and Bahamut in one of the trailers. Exactly, right? Yeah. I'll fucking kill you. There's so much pain in that line too, man. God, what a freaking demo, man. What a demo. Oh yeah, you're on point. Like they said, Empire Strikes Back of the trilogy. Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta see these characters at their lowest if you want us to care. They gotta be at their lowest. That's why it took me so long to get over Remake. Um, I just thought everything's way too good. Everything's way too good. Um, everything's happy. Too much hope. I want Sephiroth to come in there and say, "Let me just take that hope. Let me get Odin in there and say, and thus is the light of hope." What's he say? Thus is the light of hope destroyed or something. I don't know. Yes. Let's see. Benedicta kicked his ass. Kick his ass, Seabass. Yeah, Benedicta was it was really cool. Nina Indus is such a cool person to be around too. Oh my god, wasn't it so visceral? Yeah, the visceral the visceral like delivery of that line. It's so good, man. I think it's going to be kind of like one of those things that we're going to see that event play out multiple times in Final Fantasy 16. I think we'll see that event play out multiple times, and we'll get that. I don't know. I think we'll like a Nibelheim, right? Where you see Nibelheim happen. There's a lot of mystery involved with the Phoenix Gate, and I think we will probably see that event play out multiple times and get more fleshed out. We'll probably even see more emotion watching like that delivery of that line, like what is actually going on, what's actually happening. It's gonna be a heartbreaker, man. Let's see. The Lunar Whale, man. I think that ship that they're riding on, I think they're just going to keep equipping it with Fallen tech, and eventually it's just going to take off from the sea and just go up to the Sky Civilization. And then from the Sky Civilization, let's get a freaking moon elevator, baby. Let's do it. Let's do that. The Sky Civilization is something I'm really excited to see, because we know we're going there. It's in that artwork and everything. I feel like we're going there. Final Fantasy IV was one of my favorites. Kino! What's up, Kino? Oh my god, bro. Final Fantasy 16 has so many timed mechanics. Did you see the videos of parrying and swift recovery and combination stops? Yes! Yes, I did, Kino. And like, let me tell you what, man. I was getting the hang of my little strategy, and then I saw that, and I'm like, there are going to be some cool videos. So I can't wait to see. Oh God, starts with an M. They do the amazing like videos about that stuff. Like the tilting the camera around. What is that? Is it much? What is the? I don't know. It's like a one-word Twitter account that posts those really awesome combat videos that make it look super stylish. I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be super cool. 2 channels do it, and I can't think of their names right now. Did you see how the pause menu shows Clive in the exact stance of motion that he is at the moment? Heck yeah, I did. Because then I went into photo mode so many times. So I would pause that game and go into photo mode so many times. So yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Alright, guys. I do think I'm going to wrap this up, though. I really, really enjoyed talking to you guys. I can't believe it's just me sitting here. I got no guest, it's just me talking to you guys. And we talked for a good 3 hours, and I was not expecting that. And I really enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much for sticking around and adding to the conversation. And, man, it's just really cool. Thank you, guys. I will be jumping off here now, though. So, thanks so much for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.